Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is Fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 359, The Wormhole. Hopefully you guys have had a great start to your week. I know I have. Pretty good day. I've got a lot of shit done. Hoping to get some more shit done while hanging out with some friends this evening. Hopefully we can get some good folks in, hanging out. Take over a little bit while working chat in the background. What's up? Bill, Sid, Jason, I song Naughty Nikki, Mr. Red Pill. Cheers. Nice to see you guys. Get the fucking chat all popped out. Pop way out. There we go. It's an ammo box version of Give Me Back My Bullets. Darn. Light up again, Tim. Cheers to you. You guys, pardon me while I get my act together here. So sorry. Please move over. Right there. Get my live chat going. Bam. I think I'm pretty much ready. Bingus 503 coming in, sliding in. Bingus, give me back my bullets. Put them back where they belong. Are you a fan of the old Leonard Skinner? I would find it hard to believe that you would not.
Again, one of the staple songs from back in the 70s. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Doing good. Actually, I'm actually out potting some Blue Mile by some guy named Bingus. Oh, I don't know what happened. My music decided to come back in the background. Oh, Red Pill, cheers, my friend.
The Red Pill is back.
Yeah.
Now I lost you both again.
Brother?
Nothing much. Might have noticed a little, bit of
Holy
a
shit,
nickel.
that's a slab.
Yeah.
A little bit. Holy mackerel.
This is the baby slab.
I
This
hope
is
you don't.
the one I've been dabbing on. I got another one that was its identical brother or sister.
Yeah, I hope you don't run out tonight.
No.
Dude, he might, you know. Yeah.
Oh, I've been missing the wormhole. I've been missing you guys and everyone in the chat.
Where you been, dude?
I'm actually.
I've been meaning to fix my sleep schedule, but I didn't mean it to adjust it to how I did, and now I just wake up like right when the wormhole ends, and I catch it when it uploads. But I pass out right before the spotlight or the actual talking shit episode starts. So that gap of time is like right when the show is on, when I'm sleeping. I meant to fix my schedule so that I could be up during the morning come when it's nice and I'm starting to garden again. So I want to build that raised bed. I thought it'd be a good thing to be up early to do that. But
yeah. All right.
We've been missing you.
Exactly. All right, dude, I've been busy too. All right.
Yeah.
And I have adjusted. I actually took a nap around 5 o'clock so I could make it to the wormholio. That's how important it is to me. But yeah, I get busy with the real world. It's crazy. Don't mean to overtalk there. It's hard to get the timing right sometimes on the wormholio.
Yep. Yeah, plus
it can be a little tough.
My dog, I wanted to wake up and play with him earlier in the day, but he still sleeps most of the time anyways, so I might as well be sleeping if he's sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a part of the red pill.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone that was sending me messages and telling me that they missed me. You know, I watched pretty much all the episodes that I wasn't present for, and I definitely felt like I missed out on a lot of conversations too. So it was mutual.
It's one of those things where you get to, you introduce yourself to the community like that. They see what great guys you guys are, and then when you guys aren't here, you guys, it's like, what the fuck? what the fuck, man? So I enjoy having everybody that comes through around. It is every one of you guys have enriched my life, and each your own ways. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it. It's definitely made me a better person this last year, without question.
Well, it goes both ways, brother. That's why we keep coming back. Keep coming back, man. Can't get enough of the Eagle One.
Jack. Well, oh man, I guess, man, I should fucking maybe here in a sec. Let me roll this joint. I got. I actually up potted the Bingus Mile or the Blue Mile. I don't know why I want to keep calling it the Bingus Mile, but the Blue Mile in some of Jack Greenstock's favorite M3 mix.
So, Jack.
So it will be in like a soil type, water only, the Bingus Mile. Oh. She's got plenty of room. She's almost in like a 15-gallon pot of just solid soil. So I'm going to work her a little bit before I throw her in the flower. But they're tall enough to like spread out. You know what I mean? I'm going to like open them up tonight. They've been transplanted. I'm going to open them up, let them get nice and bushy, get ready for flower. And then, man, I got these Tiger Kings I want to show you. And these girls are fucking, that's the ones I got from White Feather Grows. That he got a tooth infection and had been fighting it. And I haven't heard from him in a while. I need to get a hold of that cat. But, man, this Tiger King is a pretty plant. I don't know, just in structure and everything. It's a bush. It's just a monster. And
now that's part White Widow, right? It's part Widow, right?
I'm not even fucking sure, to be honest with you. Bingus, he sent it along with I think he might have crossed it. I don't even know, to be honest with you. He said it was a local cross.
A white tiger, which I have it actually. It's awesome. So I'm thinking maybe it's a derivative of some sort. Sounds good though.
Looks good. Jack Greenstock, what's up, my friend?
Jack.
Not too much. Cheers, Eagle, Red Pill, Bingus. How you all doing? I wanted to say, if you are running the M3, my number one piece of advice, don't overwater it. And the best way I would say to go about doing that, well, there's a few different routes. You can not water until it's fully saturated, because if you do that and do that often, I think people tend to overwater. It's got a great water holding capacity because there's vermiculite. It also makes for really nice strong plants because it takes up that silica over the cycle. But with that said, the M3 mix is during the earlier stages fairly hot. It is like meant to be water only in a 15-gallon pot, unless you grow like a 8-foot tall tree, like 6 foot tall and less. I think you'll be fine start to finish with that 15-gallon without any worm castings. But you could supercharge it up and give it worm castings and teas and some ocean bounty if you wanted to do that, like versus water only. And happy endings tea. It'd be cool to see, but I love that soil. It was my base. I'm still using third or fourth time re-amended now, M3, that I just used some craft blend, gypsum, and a few other things like worm castings. I also use black soldier fly larva So, or
that's-
frass, I should say, insect frass from black soldier fly larvae.
Another guy, Armed American Patriot, he has a mile as well, and he used the soilless, and he just, dude, I looked at it and went, man, that looks better than what I've done, you know. So I'm kind of interested in that pre-amendment soil. It's just, is it just in your area, or is it everywhere?
I think they have it everywhere, but the one thing about it was, see, I wanted to go with, to be honest with you, with the Detroit water only was the one I wanted to start with, because I've met him, you know, personally. I think he's a good dude. I've had him on the show, but there was a big difference in one to the other, to be honest with you. One, they were out of it, which was
Yeah, well, that makes a difference.
yeah, that makes a huge difference. Two, Tommy's mix was only 1 cubic foot for $26 a bag, and the M3 was 2 cubic feet for 30. So it was one of them things. But with that being said, when I got home, and just now it sat there for a few days, I didn't have time to fuck with it. When I just opened it up and was like dumping it into the pots there, and I was like, my first thought was fucking perlite, because that M3 had a nice, it was bountiful in that M3, and I was like, shit, oh man. So with that being said, I almost think I could have got, you know, the Detroit mix and maybe fluffed it up with a little bit of perlite, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To kind of even out that number a little bit. But I don't even think I would have. I would have probably put some, you know, that chunky cocoa in there instead.
I wouldn't honestly even worry about it. It'll work good for you for the first run or two, and then after that you can start adding in rice hulls and pumice, and the rice hulls will add a little bit more silica, and you can top dress with rice hulls as like a mulch if you want. But then the pumice isn't gonna like perlite float up or get crunched into basically like sand over time. So in a living soil, that perlite won't last forever. It won't move, especially if you're using it in like a sip, which you're not going to be in the 15-gallon pot. But if you were, for example, in a sip, that perlite movement isn't going to be as much of an issue as if you're like watering through from.
Yeah, it does break down, that's for sure.
I've got a big bag of pumice and rice hulls behind me right now.
Are there any companies?
Don't get too close, it absorbs all your moisture, bro.
Are there potting
Hey,
soil?
we're like 60% water.
Oh, I'm still muted.
What was that?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
We're just
My
talking
bad.
over you.
Are there any mixed potting mixes, you know, bagged potting mixes that have pumice and rice hulls instead of, or even lava rock instead of perlite?
Maybe some of the build-a-soil blends do. I haven't seen a lot, but a lot of them do have perlite. The one thing I wanted to say is M3, although it's not carried in stores out here in California, you can get it shipped. It's like, honestly, $20 shipping though. You can get like 1 or 2 bags. And for me, like I was doing a tiny little tank grow. So comparing it to like what I would spend on nutrients when I was growing in cocoa and the cocoa, to get a bag of soil that I used water only start to finish and got a few grows off of just 1 bag, it justified the cost. And it kept it really simple, got me back into growing in soil. And
It's called
I've been able to save
amortization.
it and re-amend.
It's called amortization. Right? People don't think about that. What's the amortization value? It's like, you know, I use straight perlite, but I'm reusing probably 50-40% of it. And it comes down to where, geez, I haven't ordered perlite in a while. You know, it's like, you know, so I mean, it really does save. But there's so many different great ways to do it. We're looking through the glass lens now at the Eagle Gardens.
Right.
And them
Eagle,
two girls right there are those Tiger Kings.
Okay.
One sitting out that are like still in the bed state there.
Bush.
Bushy bitches. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the Tiger Kings.
Ah,
And there's the baby Bingus Blue Miles in their new pots there.
there's
One
the
right
little
there.
guy right there on the right.
They're
Eagle,
just babies, Bingus. They weren't at the same time or nothing. You know what I mean? They're like
Oh, you
fucking
got
a
him
month.
in one of those fucking what do you call those pots, Jack? With all the holes in them?
They were AirPods.
Yeah,
AirPods.
dude, that's cool.
I've actually got shit tons of these things, man. I've got all the way down from the half gallons to these fucking monsters right here. And what I'm doing with these is I usually would bury down all the way. You know what I mean? Because you can lift that bottom up and down. But what I did this time around, because it was soil and fresh back into soil and I'm worried about overwatering and shit, is I picked up the bottom like 4 inches easy. You know what I mean? So the bottom is actually like up here. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not.
That'd be
Bottom's like
great
up
for
here,
air circulation.
just above this level right here.
Yeah.
So there's no that saucer could actually fill up, and it's not going to be wet feet in that pot. You know what I mean? I can actually come behind there with a little shot back and suck that shit out of there if I had to, if it was like overwatered or whatnot.
Well,
But,
just the air.
yeah, I think they'll do well in there.
The airflow, I think, would be really beneficial for that.
See, this is one of the Blue Miles right here. I'm gonna put her in here and pull her right down to the edges. You know what I mean?
They will beast out on you. I'm pretty sure. At least everyone has for me. I'm like Blue Mile City right now. I'm like, all right, we get enough. I know the two that I want to keep, and I'm getting rid of clones now actually, because it's like I need more variety. They took over.
I see you got a fresh batch of beans over there, man.
Oh,
Fire beans too, man.
Yes, baby. Oh yeah, yeah. My buddy, the seed hoarder, God bless his soul, came through, and he gave me 2 full vials of the New York City diesel, which I'm like, whoa. And so I'm gonna have fun with that. And I'm trying to find more room. I'm probably gonna move my desk out of here, and that'll give me another 5x5. So yeah, I want to dive in. That the DJ Short Blueberry that I got from him. I'm in my second run with clones, and the clones are just growing magnificently compared to the seeds. And I've noticed that a couple of times now, where the seeds grow one way, and then it's probably because it's in such a small pot, you know what I mean? And because of that taproot having to twirl around the bottom, and the clones seem to grow better in my situation anyway. And that is talk about a beautiful plant. Beauty, purples, hues, and blues, and just God, and tasty. So yeah, I want to play with it. I definitely, I got the hog. I crossed it with the hog. I'm waiting on those seeds to come out so I can do some more pheno honey. But I need more room.
Eagles talked a little bit about how he thinks the clone, it expresses differently, maybe because it's like more acclimated to your room and your environment, and just like it being more older and mature as a clone, it's going to express differently. As like he says, as a tester, he's going to run it once from seed and once from clone, at least twice, to really get an example of how it grows. And Eagle, I was going to say, going to your back to your earth boxes, I heard that 3-to-1 was about the measure of weight from that to the cocoa. But I'm curious, was the smoke pretty similar, or was it different entirely? Like, were they all just orange across the board?
To be honest with you, I think I had more bud density in the cocoa, to be honest with you. But I definitely bigger, nicer looking buds with the the earth boxes side of things. They were a little bit more terpy on the earth box side, but there was a slight draw, and probably more on my end than anybody else's. Is I believe I could. I think I haven't tasted the product yet because it's still actually right there.
Right.
and
Blooming.
so I haven't had a chance to try it yet. But when I was trimming, I could have thought, maybe it was in my head, that I could smell bunny shit. You know what I mean? And I did go pretty heavy-handed, top dress thing right before flower with the bunny shit. Actually, I did a nice layer of earthworm castings, and then like fucking a nice layer of the bunny shit. And I think I can smell it, but again, I haven't had the chance to smoke it to see if I can, pick up, anything in any flavors in the bud from one versus the other. But
don't tell anyone that you give it to that doesn't watch the show, and then see if they say it. Because Breeder Steve often says one of the things that he doesn't like about some organic buds is his critique is often cow shit comes through in the taste. He could taste cow shit, or like if they use a certain fish emulsion, or if they buried a fish head in the hole, he said he could always taste the fish. And I definitely think if you can taste the bunny shit and you used it, it could be just in your head. You're like, oh, I used it, so maybe I'm tasting it, or maybe that pheno has a little bit of like a shit.
Fish
There's like baby shit
all
pheno
the time, and the fish never comes through. I use that fucking Alaska fucking, what is this right over there?
You're saying it's psychosomatic, basically.
I think it could be. That's why I'm curious.
Fish,
if you didn't say anything to like anybody that you give it to as a sample, if they said it to you, like, oh, this smells like bunny shit, then you would know.
Dude, you know what's funny is the humans are very suggestible. We're easily hypnotized on a subconscious level, and we don't even realize that it's happening. It's kind of scary, really. It's a flaw, actually, I would say, in the human, because thought, higher beings can definitely control us in that manner. It's crazy.
I've asked myself that question a lot. Like, why is that such a big flaw of ours? Like, I try to figure out problems, and I'm like, at some point that happened. You know what I mean? And it's an easy thing.
Well, if you look into genetics, which I do quite frequently, I think it's 46. There's 2 chromosomes in the human genome that have been fused, and that doesn't happen naturally. So it's like, okay. I mean, it's an impossibility for that to happen naturally. And then, I don't know, there's a guy out there, he's dead now, but Lloyd Pye. All right, if you ever watched any of his videos, if you YouTube that, he has this genetic theory about the human race. And he has a lot of facts backing it up. Funny thing is, after he went on a few lectures, the healthy guy that he was suddenly caught cancer and died. I mean, quickly, not over, so it's funny how when information like that gets spread and then it doesn't fit the narrative of the current hypnosis.
And then the guy disappears and no one ever picks up where he left off. Like
Nobody has. In fact, he had a geneticist contact him and said, hey, you're spot on, but we won't talk about it.
Bingus, are you familiar with RFK murder? Robert F. Kennedy? He was killed by Sirhan.
Yes.
There's a thing, like a podcast called the RFK tapes, and it goes into how the alleged killer, or the person who's prosecuted and in jail for it still, I think, to this day, Sirhan. I think he might have even been executed. I can't remember. But I think they, and anyway, the point is, if you listen to this podcast, they break down how he could have been hypnotized. And It's pretty interesting because they like had a hypnotist come in that like had him like climbing the bars of his cell like a monkey, and like when he was asked why, he like couldn't explain necessarily, like he made something up, but he didn't realize that he got hypnotized to he would climb the bars and act like a monkey. So some
There's
people are suggestible, and like I had a psychology professor who had a baby under hypnotism with no drugs, no anything, just got hypnotized, and that was enough to make her not have pain and give a natural birth.
Mm-hmm.
I go down those rabbit holes way too often. And there's a lot of CIA, a lot of FBI. I mean, dude, just look around in today's world, guys.
You want to know the trick?
Yeah, please.
Don't be suggestible. That's why hypnotism won't work. You have to be a skeptic. You have to say, this is fucking bullshit, man.
That's right.
I don't fucking believe that. And even if you start to believe it a little bit, they can get you. If you think like, maybe this might work. Yeah, like, no fucking way. I'm not going to believe that motherfucker. He's fucking hokey pokey bullshit. That's the only way your brain will be able to overcome it.
Well, knowledge is the key to breaking any puzzle like that. If you know it's there, you can avoid it. Plus, if you know their techniques, that's another thing. Oh, okay, I see what technique you're using. I could go into more detail there. Go ahead, Red.
Just because I just want to say there's other news besides my haircut and my slab here.
We can't see your hair. Your head's cut off, dude. You're like this.
Well, the beard's cut.
I noticed it when he came on, yeah.
Little clean cut version there, yes.
I'm just busting your balls. At the moment, you were like this.
If it shames some people that I cut the beard, then it'll grow back. Trust me, it's no problem. But I did want to mention. I heard seeds, and that made me think. I did get seeds from the giveaway a few weeks ago. SoCal. Oh, cool. Those Mendo Loco seeds showed up. So.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
I got some of them going as well.
Cool.
Whenever I've gotten seeds from someone in the community, I've had way better germ rates than when I went and spent big bucks on seeds. It's funny how that happens. Like always that way, man. The American one, 100%, 7for7, Doja DNA, 100%, 7for7. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful spoon.
I cleaned my pipe too, my Chem Dog pipe.
I was gonna say who made that, but yeah, Chem Dog. Hell yeah, man.
It's the one little smudge there, though, that kind of shows you what the color changing is gonna be. But it's a 2015 pipe, and I didn't clean it once, and I had to soak it for a long time. I didn't use any salt or put anything like that. Just let it soak in alcohol and then rinse in hot water repeatedly over and over again. But finally got it, 90-ish% clean. It has
fucking beautiful.
It has a whole bunch of different millies. I think there's a Jerry millie, there's a Tommy Chong millie. There's one of those. I think it's called someone's gonna laugh. But one of those bears, Grateful Dead bears. Someone will know. I'm not a Grateful Dead.
Wow.
It's got like 11 or 10 millies all over it.
It's beautiful, man. And just to be able to say that you have a piece from fucking Chem Dog he's a legend.
Yeah.
In my opinion, living legend, straight up. He deserves the fucking credit. He found one of the most potent strains ever, and he's a badass glass blower, and he's killing it now. He's growing in the legal market, and he just had one of his first legal crops, I think. So congratulations to him. I think he's in Florida. So big ups, Chem Dog. Come on the show. We fucking love you, dude. I'll reach out. Okay.
There's a bunch of cool folks that we need to reach out to get on the show. Bunch of them.
Come on, chat. Power of chat. Go on their Instagram. Start saying, hey, you should go on at fucking Talking Shit with Eagle.
I'm thinking we should get like 100 and however many people have. You've got over 2,000 subscribers. Get 2,000 emails sent to Joe Rogan. We want to see you on the Eagle Show. I bet something would happen. I bet something would move. I bet you'd get a response.
I've sent him a DM on Instagram, but that's probably not the best route to go.
You'd have to go through
I'm
his
sure that
whoever his publicist is. You know what I mean? You could figure that out just Googling all that information. It's whatever. I mean, I'm not, but you know, he is a cool dude.
I think it would be fun.
I like. I think if he knew what we were doing, he'd be all over it. You know. But
I think
guys
a
like,
booking agent would be who you'd contact.
yeah, of course.
I agree. I don't think you're gonna get them direct. You're not gonna get him directly. He just has too many millions of people.
Smiley, dude.
Come on, guys.
Oh yeah.
Thank you,
I
sir.
can stop smiling now. You can take over.
Look at that sucker. Look at that.
What is that?
I'm smoking on Smiley's. Hang on. White cranberries,
That's some primo shit.
dude.
You like it?
This is a hand grenade. You could throw at somebody. Yeah, I'm just about this far into the smaller nug, and yeah, then I'll move on to the other entrees. Fuck, I feel like I just hit a dispensary lottery or something.
Past episode, I also heard Smiley mention the blue lime pie.
Yeah,
That's a really tasty strain.
Oh, you've tried it?
Oh yeah, and from Green Dot Labs in Colorado. It literally tastes like it comes from key lime pie, and it really does honestly taste like a key lime pie.
Yeah, it's the blue lime pie is like the perfect name to it, I think. But I never tried key lime pie, so I don't know what that.
Oh, I got, dude.
They definitely had to pheno hunt for it, or maybe maybe they didn't have to. Maybe they got lucky, but they had a very lime dominant terpene profile, and it was a concentrate too. So,
Dude, I got that one as a freebie from them, and I think I bought the white nightmare cookies and I got that as a freebie. So
I have their blue power. I grew 3 seeds of it, probably 2015 of it, and I got 2 males and 1 female, and it was in a solo cup, and one of them, the female, fell over out of it. So I tried replanting it, and it grew like shit after it, and never really got to test it, and I threw the other 2 males away. I think it was a 15 pack. I still got most of them, I think.
nice. I usually do that too. I'll like save a couple seeds from each run. I don't try to pop them all. That saved my butt though a couple times, because like if you crack like 6 of the 12 and then you had a problem with germination or something, you can kind of get an oops turn at it, you know what I'm saying? And still have another shot at cracking it and maybe finding one.
Also at that same grow, I had TGA Herkel, and a couple of them also did get fallen and knocked over, and the same thing happened. And the one female that I did get to save and flower out, I felt kind of whatever. I didn't get it tested because it's supposed to be a 1-to-1 THC CBD strain. It's Harlequin and Coracle, basically a purple CBD strain. And I couldn't tell by like smoking it if it was, majority CBD. I definitely could tell that it was CBD dominant or THC dominant. But I felt like I should have gotten it tested to figure out, And I still have the same situation. I only grew 3 of those, and that was a 10 pack. So I still have 7 of those. So.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, guys.
Has anybody cracked anything new for the full moon?
Just put Face Off OG as soon as I got it.
You put it right in.
Yeah, just bing. Go ahead, Jack.
Donnie Burger and some of the Amy Aces from the American one.
Nice.
I gotta get the Ivo already. I'll go next round. It's in the mix.
Cheers to the American one. He gave me quite and I'm sure he did the same with you all, but it wasn't a 10 pack. It was a lot more. Like a lot more.
So did SoCal, man. He gave me a bunch of those Mendo Locos, which I'm actually passing along. So 808 rooting prospects is I don't know. We were chatting in DMs or whatever, and anyway, I'm gonna send him some of them Mendo Locos to run outside. See, they're just a beast of a plant, dude. It's unbelievable. That thing, I've never seen a plant that strong of a structure. Like it's not gonna fucking it's not wispy at all. It's gonna stand on its own. It's hard.
I don't know.
As Breeder Steve would call it, erect.
Erect.
That's exactly what he says. He wants it to be able to run unsupported. I don't want to stake it up. I want it to be an erect field plant. I can feel like plant it in the ground and watch it grow.
I guess I have more scientific terminology. I just wind tolerant.
Wind tolerant, yeah.
I'm
That's
just
what
quoting
that,
Breeder Steve.
I know.
What that biggest smile is, Smiley. If it ever does start to grow there, it's definitely erect. Definitely erect.
It's not growing at all. It's pretty much the same size, dude.
Fuck,
It's been like 2 or 3 weeks now. She's just stalled there. She's green, but
she'll kick in eventually.
She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
It's like fucking the American one's butter cheese that's been growing for like 7 months, and it's like fucking 4 inches tall, but it's got like 35 nodes swirled around.
Yeah, that thing's
the craziest.
Interesting.
Speaking of the American one, I've been smoking his Godiva for the last few days. A couple little nugs, which isn't fair, but they're pretty sugary, man. They're fucking.
What's the profile like?
Yeah, what should it taste like, Eagle? I smell some cheese on mine.
Yeah, that's same. A little gassy, but a little bit cheese. Cheese with a little kind of fuely on the back end. I noticed that with the other one too. Amy's Aces had a bit of a cheese on the back end of it too, super cheesy. But I kind of when he asked me the flavor profile on that, I was like, man, it tastes a lot like Pennywise. As far as if I had to like put another strain right next to it, Pennywise from Subcool, that it was like close. I was but I enjoyed it. It was another great strain. I enjoyed both of them, all of them.
So many strains in so little time.
Aren't they
It
all?
makes sense. There's cheese in it with the Cheesequake male.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They were all Cheesequake male.
Yeah, so the Amy Aces is Cheesequake male that he pollinated his RB, which is his proprietary plant. Which maybe where he's at, there might be some chance that there's some like diesel or OG or chem. If there's some gas in there with some cheese, who knows? What's the structure like on the Godiva?
Mine's got a really nice structure.
Good set. Heavy buds, real big, fat, dense buds. It's like just like that one right there. Just like that one right there. Bam.
Is that a Godiva?
That one needs to come down. Yeah, it is. There's actually, man, I've got some beasts, but that I got a Godiva over here in the LED tent over there. Actually, it's way over there. Wait. There we go. There it is. That one.
What'd you do? Are you gonna dry trim, Eagle? What are you gonna do behind you there? Are you dry trimming?
Stop it. I know. I was in a fucking pinch. I know. I hate it as bad as I fucking want to talk about it. But man, I got some Godivas, man. I posted up some pics of them not so long ago. Man, they were almost as big as my wrist. And they're as tall as I am. Them are the ones I swazied right before the flip because they were already so big. I knew I didn't want that stretch. So I wanted that stress and then flower. You know what I mean? That's why I stripped them down. And it worked. I actually only got like 3-4 inches of like really stretch out of it. And it worked out in that tent under that fucking, that LED, that 640 Low Pro Max. Fucking, I need to get in there and delete that shit. Otherwise, I'll be fucking in there just fucking showing you right now. But I'm fucking behind. told myself I was just gonna log on and fucking fade to the back. But man, I always have the problem of fucking fading to the back. I always have too much fun hanging out. It's too much fun hanging out with you guys.
Man, I know. But yeah, I've had a really nice structure on the Godivas, except for the one I did take it out. It was kind of that mutant. I don't know if you ever seen them. They almost look like it looks like it's two stems that are like growing side by side, but they're like one. So it's like twice as wide, but it's like flat. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird mutant kind of stem. I've seen them before, and it seems like they throw the bud. Like anytime you see them, it's like a really stacked like array, almost a bud array coming across instead of. And I don't know. I just think
I
it's
think they call it fasciation.
yeah, but it's not going to be the desirable keeper. I already knew that. So I ran a clone through the flower, but I'm pretty much cutting her down just because I don't know. I'm not curious.
I'm excited. One of my testers, Spartan Grown, found a keeper in the Velvet Punch, and he's actually going to get it terpene tested. So I'll be curious to see. It's always cool to get those. I never get my stuff tested personally, but
Nice.
the amount that I grow is so small
It's
that we just end up
dragon
consuming
rights,
it.
bro. What are you doing?
You know, it is. It's also kind of, I guess, at this point I should, but
At least once.
I felt like it was throwing money in the hole for a while, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, at least once, like especially if it's a cut your pond out or something, just to see where you're at. Like,
I need to do it with the cherry pie. That's what I need to do. Grow out the cherry pie real good one time.
Dude,
get that
see,
tested.
the thing is that, Jack, you can focus on one thing. All right? Instead of juggling 10. You know what I mean? And that focus generally has a higher percentage of results on anything. The more you can focus, the better the results will be. Cherry pie is something that I've always been interested in, and great, those two types of flavors. But mainly I look for gas. Give me something gassy, you know?
I have all of that.
See?
Well, the Velvet Punch is pretty grapey and gassy. I think Eagle can attest to that. But as far as fuel, not me personally, but Doja DNA, he has a Del Norte fuel line, and that shit is killer. It's like a perfect hybrid in my opinion. It is really vigorous growing. It's like you get kind of the head and the body high. Extremely strong pain reliever, and just in my opinion, great
what's the name
breeding. Del Norte Fuel is the strain, and it's by Doja, Doja,
okay.
DNA.
Dude, there's so many out there. It's just that's why I like watching your latest video. I haven't commented yet, but I'm in the middle of it, and the variety that Smiley has, really, I like to see that, because really, dude, you really have to be a jack of all trades when it comes to growing cannabis if you're going to have that many different things. You know what I mean? And you got your soak bed, you got all the different types of watering. I mean, you're just like, you know, it's just it's entertaining.
If I had that many, if I got to the point where I started so many seeds and found so many keeper phenos, got to clone them, and now I'm just growing a whole bunch of keeper clones, I would make STS, silver thiosulfate, my best friend. And I would make every combination on every combination. So one round would be one plant and pollen on every other plant. And the next thing, and I'd just, whatever, if I have 12 plants, whatever that ends up being, 144 combinations or whatever.
That's cool, man. They'd all be fem lines too. That's pretty cool.
I'm not opposed to doing fem versus regular. It's just it's just different seed forms. So something that's S1, you can eventually make a cubed, triple back crossed line too. And then you can also outcross it and breed lines to it and make two different lines. One that was like the male that you use to outcross it with, and then one that's just like the clone that you pollinated. So you could technically on the seed menu, like when you go and look at some seed menus and it has like a reg and fem seed line or form, you're like, well, how did that get made? Is the regular seed form the parents of those, and is the fem like the best keeper that the breeder found, and then they S1? Is that what I'm buying when I'm getting the regular form and the feminized form? You know what I mean? But you could do that, and then you can assure people that's what it is. So even if it took you more time and you couldn't go through and make as many different varieties, if you had whatever amount of varieties on your catalog or whatever, and then you could have, here's the auto flowering version of it in reg, here's the auto flowering version of it in fem, here's the photo period in reg, here's photo period in fem.
It really opens it up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bingus.
I was just saying, it really opens it up. I enjoyed that process myself. I mean, it cuts a lot of corners, and you do end up, you can have some, hermaphrodization, but you can also control that. And it's, anyway, I like hearing that, Red.
So, Red, on that line of thought, that's kind of what I was working on, and you guys might be able to help me with this too, but just talking more about it. So last fall, I had some males that I found in High Mac, and I put them outside, and we'll just go with the Purple Punch for now, right? So I took Purple Punch out there and pollinated it with the High Mac. Now, I only did it with a little clone. So I only got a handful of seeds, right? And my plan was not to have a shit ton of seeds. I just wanted, my goal is to find a male. Obviously, I'm going to grow out the girls too, see what's there, but I wanted to find a male to bring back to the original mom of the Purple Punch. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of the back cross then, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what would be?
Yep. That's your BX1.
So then you would take from that lineage, then you would take and cross a brother and a sister, and that would become the F2, right?
That would be an F2 of F1. BX1. So yeah. you would carry it. It's a lot of mouth babble and like a long scientific formula written out. But if you wanted to let your whoever's growing that, if they really wanted to know the genetics of it, then yeah, it's a BX1, but then it's an F2 as well.
So now if I wanted to go down the route of cubing it, like what you guys were talking about, I would take one of the boys back again to the original clone of the Purple Punch, right? And that would be the third. And then I would have to take a boy from that line back to the original mom, and that would be the cubed. Is that kind of my...
Right. Everyone has different philosophies, and I see people that go past BX3. And who I learned it from, Brothers Grimm, I just learned that they said it was going from, 66% to 75% to 99%. And that's why they named Cinderella 99. Some people think it's a year, but it's Cinderella 99, meaning it's 99% of the original princess clone that they got. So
that's cool.
That's theoretically what you should wind up with. If you plant 1,000 seeds of that BX3, you're going to get 999.
So now, say I want to release that BX, that would be basically my own creation, right? And I could rename it. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a Purple Punch BX. I could rename it like whatever.
I would say the renaming would be more legit, like you said, if you went line breeding with it, because now line breeding, now you're really picking your own derivative from that original. So like by the time you get done line
You have to
breeding,
make selection.
So line breeding, just explain that again. So that would be where I would take brother and sister each time, right?
right? So like your easiest
That's what
path,
I'm doing right now.
well, your easiest path to getting to that purple punch, if that's what you want, is back crossing. So you're making it harder for yourself. You're going through a path of resistance, trying to line breed to get to the purple punch. You're easier line breeding
I
to
agree.
try to unlock more of a gene pool and find different things. So that way, yeah, you can rename it, because by the time you're done line breeding, you're so far deviated from original purple punch, you know, in a line breed.
Even if you rename it, I still think you should call it Purple Punch. You know, if you BX3'd it and it's like a different thing, you could call it, you know, Smiley's Punch or Smiley
Yeah,
Purple Smile, whatever you want to call it. And then you write parentheses,
exactly.
Purple Punch
It's just those
BX3.
parentheses.
And he always lists who the mom and dad were, or the process of getting to where that plant is. Call it, you know, whatever, you know, the whatever strain, which is purple punch.
Right.
So it's
Like
good.
right now, I'm making F3s with Velvet Punch. My buddy made the Velvet Punch F1s. I made F2s, which I shared with Eagle and a few others. I'm growing those F2s right now, which I pollinated 2 F2 females that I selected with 1 F2 male that I selected. And the seeds from that will be an F3. And I'm going to do some germination testing on them and give them to anybody who grew the F2s in my small tester group, with the knowledge that the F2s did have some perm, but I'm curious to see how the F3s are, because I'm not having any issues with my F2s that I've grown here, but that's always,
You know, I
I'm
don't
curious. I'm just going to
really.
keep taking it like F3, F4, F5, see what happens.
Well, you're going to just purify it. I'm more into myself. I'm more into the pheno hunting in the first generation versus going deep to create stability. That's why I try to do as many as possible to find cuts that I can save to provide, you know, something unique to the populace. Um,
You're
but
looking for clone only, right? You want that one.
I do.
You want that
You know
one
what I
out of
mean?
left field, like the 1 in a million.
It's
That's a
just that people
F2
go,
in my
wow.
opinion.
You think so?
Absolutely. I think you're going to
guess.
find the unicorn, the true 1 in a trillion, because F1, you're going to see like a little bit of each parent, and you might find a really good selection. But like if you're looking for something that nobody else has, you got to F2 it, in my opinion, because then it opens up the gene pool to all of their grandparents and all the selections of their grandparents and how they would intermingle with each other, versus just like that first generational cross. It's really dominant on the mother and the father, or if you feminize it, the 2 females.
I can't disagree, Jack. However, the more seeds you do, you're going to run into that, you know. All right. You will run it comes in waves of genes. If you like do 80,000, right? And you fuck, I mean, you're going to see a pretty good selection of the whole gene pool. All right. So the broader the entry point, you know, but then, dude, the work involved is tremendous. I got to.
I'm just saying F2 because, like Smiley was talking about the russet potato that was named after the guy. It was Luther Burbank. And you know what he did? He F2'd a bunch of potatoes, and he found a mutant that was extremely resistant to getting rot. And that's where he found it. And that's what he continued to do. And he made a bunch of, like, he made the spineless cacti, which was a feat that a lot of people, or one that was edible for like horses and cattle. But he read a lot of different things, and the route that he used was by F2ing things and then finding.
Right on.
But like you said, at F1, you could, if you do that many seeds, you're going to find some freaks too. Like Tao found some, and I think that butter cheese.
The beauty is when you can focus like you're doing. All right, you can go deep and have it controlled easily or easier, right? So it's just doing it, right? You kind of stumble onto what works for you. you know, what you're kind of called into doing, what interests you. You're going to dive down that type of area. You know, I have a demand for uniqueness. All right. That's what separates the Bingus brand from some of the other people around, you know, and that's why I'm doing what I do. You're purifying, and I'm like, fuck, I want some beans, right? Because I know what I'm gonna get. I'm not searching, right? So that's
I'm definitely, I'm learning, man. I'm really, this is my first time. I'm not pretending to be like a master breeder or like the best person on the planet. I've done a lot of reading and research, but the best teacher is experience, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I'm working with stuff that I love. It was gifted to me by a good friend, and I really like the smoke. So I'm just seeing as the first time for me doing line breeding, how it changes F1 to F2, F2 to F3, F3 to F4, F4 to F5. I'll probably stop around F6 and then evaluate which generation I like the most in unpollinated versus pollinated, and then go through and try and find some phenos that I really like. For example, F2, there was that like sawtooth variation that looks like a fern. If I wanted to do a line, my F3s that I'm making are not with that. I selected away from it. But I know I have seeds of the F2 in my fridge that I can go back to and say, hey, I want to look for that sawtooth. That's something in my notes. I've got it written down, they're stored. But now I'm curious to see what the F3 holds and how it's going to change or continue to, you know, like skunkiness came out with the pollinated F2s that wasn't there in F1s. It was more grape, gas, sweet. Now it's more skunky, funky, gassy, and there's definitely grape in there, but the skunkiness is a lot more pronounced than it
you know,
ever been.
there is a book right there that I would be very interested in reading, is you explaining each step that you went through to end up with your final result. All right. That would be a good book to read because it gives you a personal experience of a focused linear diet or a line. You know, you're diving into the ancestry.
DJ Short has a good one if you're interested. I don't know if you've read his book on, it's like, I'll send you the actual name after the show because I said it. I listened back to these and this is like my Easter egg for myself. But it's like, I always mess it up because they make these really long titles, but it's something like Breeding Excellent Cannabis or Exquisite Cannabis, DJ Short. And he highlights a lot of what he calls like the heritage strains. And it's a really, really good read. But he talks about kind of how he took some of those heritage strains like Thais and Mexican and Afghanis, and he took the ones that he liked the best and started working with them. And through breeding from generation to generation, he talks about kind of discovering blueberry and flow. And it's an excellent read. And I need to reread it sometime because
I'm very impressed with the blueberry. I'm just straight up very impressed.
So he's a legend in my book. He's back in Michigan from what I hear.
That's cool. Yeah, that was kind of the goal I had too, Jack. I made some F2s in the fall as well. So I had cracked a new line. I found the boys, I put them outside, and then all the individual girls got hit by all the brothers. So there was some, like the honeymoon, I had 3 boys that I hit but each individual one, and now my keeper pheno girl out of the 3 that I had is the seeds that I'll crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the other 2, I'll just got a handful of seeds that won't crack me.
Yeah, so I actually got the title of the book. I just pulled it up on my Google Books here on my phone. It's Cultivating Exceptional Cannabis. An Expert Breeder Shares His Secrets by DJ Short. And it's like $9 or something on Google Play Books, I think. And it's definitely worth that, in my opinion. It's a great read, especially if you like the blueberry. He's a badass breeder. He's definitely earned my respect and many others.
Thanks, Jack.
Happy to share.
Yeah, man. I'm ripped on this.
That stuff's stony, ain't it?
What is it? What's it called again? Fuck.
White cranberries.
Yeah, white cranberry.
It's sour Jack crossed to white strawberries from OG Rascal. The Rascal OG or whatever.
Smiley, your
I've
stuff
been-
stands up with the best shit out here. Honestly,
Bingus
like
got a special treat though, Jack. Those were actually some of the tops that I set in a jar. They sat since November. I wrote the date on them. They sat, and I literally cracked that like the week before. So they got burped a couple times, and then packaged up the scent.
very impressive.
So they're
I'm just getting started, but so far, yeah.
Yeah, that's the head stash that you got.
That's what I'm talking about when you give somebody when you provide to someone and they just go, fuck yeah, man. And then just there's never questions after that, ever. As long as you're continually providing unique, excellent cannabis, people are fucking happy. And they don't even want to hear what a dispensary has, period. They don't need to. And if you don't know how to grow, just find a good grower, you know.
In like the case of Smiley, like I think yours was like allegedly the carrier pigeon dropped a package that had about 10 samples.
Peagle.
And when I try 10
Peagle.
samples, I normally, oh, sorry, Bingus, go ahead.
Yeah, Peagle. Part passenger pigeon, part eagle.
Oh, yeah, part eagle. But yeah, no, so if I try 10 strains from a dispensary out here, to be honest, if I'm looking at flower, I might like 2 out of the 10, and 8 are like okay or actually bad. And with yours, like 8 out of 10 were like very good, and 2 were like good, but I wouldn't say it. Like if they were my cuts, I wouldn't keep them, and I'd let you know which 2 those were. And it wasn't like they were terrible. It's just that they weren't as special as the rest of them. All the other ones were like, wow, that's really unique and like potent and flavorful and just fire. So it's definitely
There's
That's
one
what I
they're
like.
doing great work.
There's one that I know that Mac Mosa. I know you got to try that one. It's such a frosty looking nug, but it doesn't have. It's like purple punch or something. It doesn't have the stony high, but it definitely carries some like orange terp to it. It's like an orange kind of candy terp to me anyway. But people notice the nose on it. Everybody like I have quite a few patients that are like, yeah, that's fucking the shit, you know. But then they don't ask for it again after they get it the first time. So it's got the bag appeal, but it's not got the carry through.
That's where that's the one you want to hit with some gas.
Chem.
You know what I mean? Or something that's chem. Yeah, perfect.
There's no way I'm working an orange line or anything now.
Citrus.
That I like at all, man. It's just,
Citrus terps. And if I was in that situation, I'd like to work with more, enforce it with more tropical. So if I had something that's like pineapple or mango, something like that, papaya, that's what I would hit the citrus. I would keep fruit with fruit, blend chem and gas, you know.
I got some mango sherbet, which is definitely mango and gas. It's delicious. But Smiley, you were just talking about that Mac Mosa, and I agree. There's several things in that lack potency in a lot of cases. The mimosa has, I think it's a purple punch cross with the clementine. And the Mac, in my opinion, everybody's real hype on it right now. I haven't had a Mac. I've had like 15 samples and one from Capulator himself. My buddy is linked up with his crew. I think it's like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 when it's grown perfectly, but it's just like not.
it's pretty as fuck.
Yeah. I
It's
was
not for
just
me.
thinking
It looks great. It's
so
dense and frosty, but
But yeah, it doesn't have the potency. I agree. I've had it a few times and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man.
well,
give me that Donnie Burger.
I just just to try to grow it the way people talk about it, vegging slow and all this and that. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty and it's got the legend name, but I don't know.
You know, it's when I get opinions from other, I really take note of it too, because everybody's going to have a slightly different opinion, but the majority, when they start picking a certain one, that's the one you keep, right? You know, because you get all the different opinions or whatever, but then all of a sudden that one just kind of comes ahead, or those 2 or 3. And so you start building your gardening with those based on your whoever you're providing to, their opinion, because and that's different as well. You know, I mean, that changes from demographic to demographic, I've noticed. So it's just all part of the whole idea of growing cannabis and providing the best at the least for those that really require the balance. You know what I mean?
I have a question for you, Bingus and Smiley, or Red Pill, Eagle. Any of you guys can answer this as caregivers for your patients. I just do for myself and my wife currently growing. So as far as like medicine, as you were just talking about, what works for the patients, what works for the people that you're growing for. Yourself obviously is going to matter, but you want to grow stuff that works well for your people. And like you just said, the Macmosa, they'd get it one time, but they'd never ask for it again. So certain stuff they're going to like, certain stuff they're not going to like. Have you ever seen, one thing I was just thinking about and talking about recently with somebody else was something that will work for people for a while. I don't know if it's just strain tolerance, but then like it'll stop working for them. So then at that point, as a caregiver, like it's got to be kind of hard to just, I mean, Eagle keeps pretty constant shuffle, but to just swap something else in there, and like, how do you go about handling
well,
addressing your patient's needs?
I'll just give my short personal opinion real fast. Is my whole thing with finding strains that I really like a lot is almost every strain. I don't know if it's like said 8 out of 10 aren't so good. Maybe it can be about that, but I have a hard time finding strains that I can always smoke and never get tired of. So I'm right there with a patient, and I feel like maybe I might be even more picky than a patient. And a lot of patients, maybe there's some aspect of it that they're not that snobby about, and they're like, it works for me, I don't know what your problem is, you know.
It's I think, you know, we like variety. I think just as human beings, you get tired of shit. So I have a lot of people, they'll try a few different things and then they'll go back, you see, to the one that was working for them. So I see that quite often, in fact.
Well, Bubba Kush was my most requested strain, and I thought it was a psychological thing because the people that I had exposed this to, it was the first strain of that quality weed I exposed them to. And no matter what I grew after that, every time I hooked them up, they would be like, when you growing Bubba Kush again? And in my mind, I'm like, dude, every batch I grow is probably getting consistently better and better. I don't know why you want the Bubba Kush when compared to this, but in their mind, they just liked it so much they want it again. You know what I mean? So
there's, God, you know, we're talking about it. First of all, humans and what they like, and I mean, there's a psychological profile that's individualized. There's a biological profile that's individualized, and there's the illnesses that are all different. I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint it. That's why it's good to collect all the data and run it on it. Well, I don't graph it, but I just kind of like have a score and see which guy who pulls out, right?
Well, so, like Jack shared with the book, that book is easier. Would be easier to write if you were an extensive note taker.
Absolutely. Right? That's why I'm saying his journey through this lineage that he's going through with the different, you know, that would be, there's a lot of personal input there, and it's more of a story. It's more of a biography of how it was created instead of this is the strain and da 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 da. You know, I mean, it's, to me, that would be, he'd probably make money on that. I mean, real money.
You know I thankfully am a copious note taker, and that's how 50 strains of green and now 50 strains of purple are being written, because of the 1,000+ strains I tried. I wrote notes on which ones I liked and didn't like, and how they affected me, and my mood, and my like medicinal needs, and just the flavors and smells and things that I was experiencing from all of them. And then I could go back and use some photos that I took throughout those times, or find photos of things that looked similar to what I was experiencing in the time that I experienced, and write about the experience with it, and then do some research on that strain and share it with the people, and a sort of concrete way that
No,
I don't know. I really enjoy it.
I
Eagle, I was curious.
like
Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
like it. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that would be I would enjoy reading the biography of how that grape strain you're working on developed. And since you have the tendency to be good at doing books, usually more than one is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got somebody threw out the idea 50 strains of autoflower, and I'm going to start growing autoflowers for myself to see what they're like, try them out. Shout out to Full Duplex. I'm gonna link up with them for some seeds. But I've also gotten gifted some seeds from the amazing people in the community. I got some Mephistos. I've got some Dutch Passion, some other stuff. But I think that'll be cool because autoflowers are definitely on the rise. And I mean, Jeff Lowenfels wrote a book about one, so he needs some competition out there in the cannabis authorial world. We need to get him back on one of these wormholes.
Okay.
It's a wormhole. It's organics now. Come on, Jeff. We want you back, buddy.
You got to do the 50.
Need autoflower for my pothole.
50 strains of hermaphrodites too.
That's a good one. I got a 50 strains of dumpers for all the hash lovers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Some Eagle said 50 strains of training, like all like bondage, like get plants tied up, like 50 ways to train a plant.
50 erect strains.
Breeder Steve would be all about that.
That's a callback.
We need to get him back on here. Season 2, buddy. Come back, Breeder Steve. We love you.
What's the name of the strain? Erect. Oh.
So I just wanted to say I've been just sitting here silently enjoying the conversation, thinking to myself, shit, I should be working. Things are going just fine. For what? AB Normal, full 20 AB Normal is scheduled for 410. AB Normal, the only way to get to the wormhole is to do your spotlight. Until then, you're going to unfortunately have to pleasantly sit in chat until then. But after your episode, you can jump in whenever you feel like. So it's just the way the ball bounces right there. But to answer your question a little bit there, Jack, about like patients and strains I keep and stuff like that, when they're usually signed on, you know, I'm not even questioning, you know what I mean? Is there a strain that, you know what I mean, I should be bringing to the table? It's more like, this is what I've got. It's usually, honestly, I'll cut off like a nice sample of everything that's offered in the garden at that time. And then it's like, okay, you have that to pick from. You know what I mean? Find what works best for you, or at least limit it down to a few that I can give you, you know, because I do give, you know what I mean? What I'm finding there is a rare breed of caregivers that actually gives to my patients. A lot of people as caregivers charge right off the bat. You know what I mean? There is no free. It's, you know what I mean? It's compensation right off the bat. And I actually give a good portion of mine away to my patients right off the bat. So with that being said, I try to ask them, you know, out of what are you getting, instead of making me come over here and, you know, cut out a bunch of bullshit. At least leave it. If you're going to mix it up to like 4. And if they have that one that works for them there, it's, I'll keep it around for them until they find something else. And if they find something else, or I'm about ready to pull it, because as you know, I do kind of flip things around, I will give them the option, especially if they're a long-term patient, of stocking up on that in particular strain until they can find something that works as well or on the menu for them, or, you know, whatever. But they kind of know that it's a constant flip unless they find that one that works very well for them. I obviously will keep that one around as long as they're a patient or have needs for that in particular strain. But, you know, as far as that goes, that is the process right there. Is I kind of give them an option, but it's more what's available on the menu when they sign on, unless, you know, if they came to me, I guess, at some point and said, well, I've tried this one at another, dispensary, whatever, we may have to grow this. But I can't let them dictate. And like Bingus, like you talked about earlier, they wanted that one from way back. Well, to me, and again, the scale that you guys were talking about, oh, it's an 8, it's a 10, it's, that's only to me relevant to what's in the fucking garden. I could give a shit what out there. Your 8 to 10 is only relevant to what's in my garden. You know what I mean? And if it's a year ago, when you had that whatever, and you want me to bring it back, you better be fucking sure. Because believe you me, you will fucking hear about it. If you're my patient and you make me bring back that strain, because it takes fucking 4 to 6 months to bring back seed, from seed. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of time to fucking bring that one back, and then you go, well, this is good, buddy. Yeah, you're right. This current shit's better. I'll be like, oh no, here's this whole motherfucker. Take this. You're good on this. Let me know when you're out, and yeah, we'll be smoking this other shit over here, the new shit. You knew how it rolls. But you know what I mean? At some point, I can't let the patient totally run my garden.
I don't know, man. I haven't really run, other than like the Ghost OG is one, Skywalker OG is one. Those are two that I keep around. I mean, they're not like, I don't know. I mean, there's a few of the patients that really dig them, and it really helps with their whatever, So it's like, I don't know. I end up holding it a lot of times because they're the only ones that really take them. But I don't know. It's kind of, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I guess
I lost in the fucking. I'm sorry, Red Pill. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess I would find about 1 to 2 out of 10. If I went through 20 new varieties a year, I would feel the instinct to not want to let go of maybe 2 of them, right? But that's through 1 year, and I basically had a 4-year uninterrupted up until legal situations where I was, missing out, and then only for that last 1 out of 4 years was I cloning and holding on to stuff. But through 4 years, then you doing that, you wind up with like 8 to 10 different varieties. So you do keep a pace of, at some point, maybe you only you're forced to either keep a certain amount of plants because space or plant count. So like say you get to that 8 and that's all you can really keep mothers of and have space of and do clones and pre-veg and then flowering, then that's what would dictate that rotation of having 8 moms still be able to pop 20 seeds a year or whatever, and go through those and do the process of elimination, finding the one that I like, or don't like, and then getting rid of that. And, there's a new one now that gets to sit around. So
I'm trying to learn the tissue culture because, like Oklahoma, California, medical patients can have unlimited plant counts. And with that,
I'm looking at that.
I'm trying to, like Eagle said, you can, if you have unlimited plant count, you can basically just keep a cut of everything that you've ever grown. And if you like it, you can always go back to it, an exact copy. And I'm going to try and figure out a way to modify my Curador so that I can have a light pop on in the Curador to keep them in veg. Because I think at 60, they might grow really slowly, which is kind of ideal. Or maybe I'll just go with the regular refrigerator. But I'm going to do some experimentation once I actually am able to get them to root.
Interesting. Yeah. Dude, I think there's a natural level that everybody gets to. How we get there is, based on the individual. But supply and demand, people demand certain levels of quality. They demand certain types of stuff that either consciously or subconsciously, as a provider, you do your best to provide. I'm with Eagle on being giving. I've also learned that people love to take. So yeah, it's a real balancing thing there. And a lot of times my generosity has been viewed as weakness and people try to take advantage. What I try to do is I provide the best possible quality that I can grow at the absolute least price that I can provide, right? And sometimes I will give them a sample if they're just needy. I mean, if I feel they need that, you know what I mean? I wish I had like a storefront and it was that acceptable where people could just come in and I could say, okay, try this, try that, try this. You know what I mean? It'd be kind of hard in my situation to do that. And when I have been over generous, fuck man, I just get fucked in the ass. So I'm just saying that it happens. You know? But I
Imagine
wish
you were running it like the
Huh?
the fish market, but imagine like you were running it just like your fish market, but with just buds,
Wouldn't that
people
be
coming
awesome?
in and out. You're just
Yes, dude, that would be awesome. Really, I mean, where you could have, I've
I think
seen dispensaries that grow it, right? Where they have that behind the glass doors, here it is. And everybody's just like, I mean, they gotta be just selling tons of weed because people come in and they're like, ding, dude, it's something, there's something happens there. You know what I mean? And plus they have a supply of fresh weed instead of getting a month. Hey, Joe over here's growing it. It's a month old and now it's a month here. And it's like, fuck.
You know how like they have like the walk through glass like aquariums where it's like a glass tube you walk through,
Yeah.
And the aquarium's all over the top of it.
That would be fucking awesome.
You know what I mean? You get where I'm going with this?
Oh,
you could have like a walk through fucking garden tour at like the grow dispensary or whatever.
What do they call that? Pick your own or whatever? Farms where you go and pick your own blueberries or apples or whatever.
Yeah, go into the flower room, be like, I want that bud right there, right there. This one?
Here you go, sir.
Oh, the one next to it. Oh, okay. This one? Yep. Just like fresh cut flowers. You take it home and dry it and shit.
It wouldn't be flopping around either. It'd just be sitting there.
Right. That's funny.
We do pick your own strawberries out here. It's actually pretty good stuff.
We have a lot. I live in Hillsboro, and dude, it's all farming out here. I mean, it's actually a cool place. Just wish we had more sun.
But what you're saying, Bingus, I think I agree with you. Any place that's allowed to grow it, where people can see it, I was shocked at how many people had never seen a cannabis plant, the actual plant alive for the first time. Like when I have gotten a little more comfortable with some people and like shown them into the grow, they're like, I've never seen a real plant. I've never actually seen it in bed or in flower. Like, no fucking idea what the process is like. They just know.
Like you say, they don't realize how that's harvested, like the bud, or you know what I mean. When you see the end product, you don't realize what it looked like on the plant necessarily. So, yeah, a lot of people are blown away by that. Yeah,
I love that idea, Smiley, with the fucking. You could have even if it wasn't a bud, but I mean, if you just had two sides, like the veg and the thing, and you just walk people through, they would just be, Daddy, look at that one. I mean.
Well, I like Mike Jackson's idea. Do it like a cattle auction or something where you're like buying the whole cow, right? Like you're just like, I want that one. You know what I mean? You get it at a great price, but it's like you gotta fucking trim it.
I'm imagining like some rotating platform with like a 60-gallon smart pot, some fat plant, growing in it, and it's rotating, and then the auctioneer now going and all.
Yeah. All right, guys. Up next, we have this whatever strain, and start giving the lineage. People bid on that, and then it'll be like the classic cars, like the car.
Today at the auction house, a plant went for $50,000. And it was,
my brother's neighbor does that shit, basically.
That'll be some shit in the future for sure.
Yeah. That's the real shit. My brother's neighbor does that shit. He doesn't even smoke. He doesn't even smoke. And he grows his legal amount of rec plants out in his yard. He's growing some fucking beasts out there. And then when come harvest time, he contacts me and some other people, and he's like, anybody that wants this shit? And I usually like hit up a bunch of extract artists that I know. I'm like, dude, anybody want this shit? He's got like a number he wants. Last year, I shit you not, he only wanted, and these my brother sent me pictures of me. Good guy's guy standing. You could always he was head height with these bushes, and you couldn't even see his body behind him. Nice fat buds, good strains. The cat only wanted $200 per plant, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good deal, but what the fuck am I gonna do with it? I put that shit in a fucking trailer and drive it up here, and then immediately have to work that shit? No. Somebody that's got some extraction equipment or somebody will fucking hook right up on that shit. That's a lot closer, but not me. And yeah, he had no troubles getting rid of that shit. He's done it consecutively now for a few years.
Well, like, somebody in the chat says he doesn't saves us from trimming. I mean, fuck.
Auction the whole plant, and then they got to take it, trim it, and everything.
My only suggestion was you get a sun-grown 707 type plant, like a 600-gallon pot that's fucking gonna yield a fuck ton. Have that shit spinning up there. It'd be like a car sitting on one of those platforms.
Yeah, but like the cattle, they don't really know what they're gonna get per pound necessarily. They got an idea probably, whatever, but yeah, they don't know if some of them go higher, some go less, whatever.
That'd be amazing.
You ever see those people guess weights, man? They're pretty crazy how close some of these people can get consistently.
That'd be the game of it, probably, right?
But
there are guys that are real good at that.
Yep.
Right? Guessing weight like it's a fucking circus.
Like you're at Six Flags. Fucking. I always felt like that'd be the most awkward job if like a lady came up and she was like a little bit maybe heavier set. It's like that's like the number one taboo, right? You like don't talk about a woman's weight. And then if like a woman walks up and it's like the guess your weight booth, and then she's like, their job is to not lose. They want to try and be accurate. They're trying to actually guess how much you weigh so they don't have to give out a bunch of prizes because that loses them money at the park. So the guess your weight person is actually really good at guessing weight. So
you probably get pretty good at it after a minute. You know what I mean?
Another like random
black eyes. Yeah,
you probably get weight, and you'd probably get pretty good at it. I bet.
Yep.
I think
the other
you look like you weigh about 150. What?
I saw a video of this dude at a checkout at like a Walmart, and the people, they had like 6 carts, and they're like, guess what it's going to cost. And they were like, the people that actually purchased it were off by like $100+, and the dude who worked there was off by like $3 on the total. It's crazy. It's like he must do it a lot and keep an eye on those totals and have a good idea of what they're in their cart and shit was. But or maybe they're fucking secret watching you when you're going around and have an idea of what your total is when you get that big of a cart. But it was interesting for sure. Some people's brains just work that way. Like whenever we do a giveaway, people guess 173 crystals. Where's the American one, damn it?
I think I'm debating. We had the crew, the crux of the Wormholio crew, and so I want to give some beans away to the crux of the crew. But so let's do that if you don't mind. I'm not sure what I'm going to give you though, so let me go grab my bean box.
Bean box. Brand that.
Actually, got a bunch of beans and stuff coming again for some new giveaways and whatnot. T-shirts, all that fun stuff. I got more cups. People seem to like the cup idea.
Same breeder, different breeder?
You talk.
Surprise.
You talking to me?
I was talking about. I'm very excited for your giveaway or offer to us, Bingus, on that. But I was talking to Eagle. He said he's got some more seeds coming his way for giveaways, and I was curious. He doesn't even have to say who the breeder is, but because most people will know. But I was just curious: is it the same breeder as the last seed giveaway breeder, or is it a different person?
It's a different person. It's a few people actually, but I will be getting hold of them because they hooked me up. To be honest, they're very good to me. They're very good to me. So, got much love.
All good people, I'm sure. Cheers to them. And to all the community, the people in the chat. Are we going to pick a number? How many people are here? Bingus, you're going to give some stuff away, right?
Yeah.
Or are you giving it to just us on the panel? Is what you're saying?
I got a. This is a good strain. These are about a year old, but I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 seeds here of the Cynics. You guys ever heard of Cynics?
I have Cinderella 99 and Vortex. That's Cinderella?
Yeah.
Cynics? Oh my God.
So 8 seeds. Very good strain, guys.
That's either Oregon.
I've only heard good things.
I think that's an Oregon or Washington local strain.
Washington definitely has it. My buddy Noah, the grow up there, has got it.
It's somewhere either or. I can't remember. It came.
They're close. It's probably in both.
Came from Elevate Seeds. So I don't really have anything to do with these other than I've had them for a couple years, and they still look very, very healthy, and I've kept them in good condition. And there's 8 of them, so I bet you could get one of them. It's a pop. That's the lowdown. They're not Bingus seeds, so I can't really vouch for them. I did run it, and I really liked it. Can't remember exactly why I didn't keep running it. Probably should run it, but I won't be able to now because I'm going to give them away. So as always, Eagle, you pick the number, brother, and
what are numbers?
What, 216? 216, 0 to 216 if we go 4 times, right?
Yeah, I jump out.
Smiley actually wants in on that one.
Yeah, you almost have me with that because Vortex, is one of my all-time favorite strains there. So
there you go, chat. See, we got,
I'm not gonna do it just because if I win, then people are gonna think it's rigged. So
you can't get these.
What do you mean? 173.
I'm just waiting for you to type in the number in chat so I can jump out and.
173. It's always 173, don't you?
So whenever you're ready.
I'm trying to fix my keyboards all fucking stuck for some reason. So, what the fuck was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Don't even listen to me. This fucking joint's getting to me. All right, we have start ready. Did we got a number? Have we picked a number?
No, you're picking the number.
By the way, I get to pick the number?
Yes, sir.
Waiting on you. That's why everybody's looking at you.
Oh. Yeah, we're waiting on you.
Feel us all looking at you.
That way they can hit the nail right on the head, and one of them will guess it exactly.
No, it's even funnier is I almost just put fucking the number right next to fucking start. It was almost a fucking 173 incident.
I wonder if you wear a tinfoil hat if your mind is more hard to read.
We're gonna have to remind everybody what we're even doing.
There is some energy blockage there, I think, bro.
Between 0 and 216. And we got a number now. We got a number.
Okay.
We're ready to rock.
One
Yeah, then I'm
guess.
someone's gonna win some awesome seeds, at least some awesome genetics.
One
Excuse
guess.
me,
Unless
got a minute
somebody
and a
guesses
half,
your number.
guys.
From Elevate Seeds.
Bam.
And they're located in Washington.
Somebody was.
And the 8 is with an 8, right? And
Right.
elevate.
Yes. ELD.
Somebody pinned it
8.
pretty close already.
I know that,
Couple
why?
of
And they,
them.
but nobody got it dead on, so we got to let it roll in case there is always
We're gonna
that
do that.
chance.
Let it rock. Let it roll.
Somebody nail it. I want to do math.
And they could always. We've seen that happen too. That winning guess fuck up and put another number in, be like, womp womp womp. We've had it happen. Be leery when you're throwing them numbers.
Got it, Eagle. See it?
I fucking see.
You
Who hit it?
I don't even know how.
You gotta check if there's a second guess to it, or when the
Or
timer.
one prior, yeah. But man, yeah, there's somebody
Oh,
dead nuts down that shit.
yeah.
Dang, they were so many close ones though. If you look, man, there's a bunch of fucking close ones.
One guess, yes, DLP. What's going on, man? We're part of his wake and bake, I'm assuming.
I love it.
So he's off to wash his
I do not see a double guess by that person.
Oh, that's good.
They are.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, that's good. Good
Number
guy.
was 141. John nailed it.
Yeah, good job, John. Congratulations, brother. Congrats.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Vortex
put my
is
email.
Vortex
Emails.
is
Go ahead.
one. Sorry, Vegas. Go ahead.
Vegas503@gmail.com. I'm putting it in the chat.
I was gonna say Vortex is the one that Green Bicycles won cup with or whatever.
Named it God's Pussy
Correct.
because it's that good of a strain. It's so underrated.
It's underrated strain. I think it has a very cush appeal. Very nice sized buds. Piney, a bit piney. Very good aroma. Good bag appeal.
Mhm.
It didn't have the knockout punch that I was looking for. I think was the reason I didn't keep it going. But as far as there was a few other people who disagreed with me on that. So, I mean, I just, you have to make a cut at some point. Now I have the C99. I'm going to be trying that. So,
So
see what
Bingus,
Really
John says he's down under. Does that matter?
No.
With that being said, the said method that we had, has landed
Okay.
to John
Let's do that.
prior. So
No problem. No problem, buddy. I got one going out to, God, what is it? Magma seeds in Spain.
Oh shit.
So far, it's. I checked in with the Peagle Observer, and he said the Peagle is having a little bit of headwinds, but should be, there sometime in the future. Just make sure to feed that Peagle when you send him back.
It's
So,
amazing
John,
what those
send me-
messenger eagles are capable of.
No shit. Eagle one.
Mama lost 710 is kicking herself in there. She was one of the first one out too. Close as fuck, man. 140. And
Jeez.
we were, like you said, that's why we wait. That's why we wait though. I mean, it happens. See, it happens. But we didn't even know it could happen. It was gonna happen, but it happened. That's why
Make sure you give me your address the way it should be printed on the on the bag or whatever, because
some of them ones across the pond there are questionable, aren't they? You look at them and you're like, "There's no fucking way that's right." I always just put it right the way they put it.
Yeah,
All
hieroglyphics, man. I'm just hoping the postman knows. They always seem to. There's a lot more complex over across the pond with the addresses.
Yeah, that's real difficult. I had one get lost
I
going to
always
New
get a little
Zealand.
big.
Yeah,
Sorry, go
mango
ahead, Brendan.
seeds. Yeah.
I was say I always get a little spike of fascination when that does go right, especially with super far and like almost remote or remote place. It's like, oh my God, like thank God for those people sending packages. I'm grateful for that. Because
Yeah.
I've been on the recipient end of that. That's how I got my seeds to grow.
I know.
Shout outs Attitude Seed Bank. I don't know if they have the same reliability that they did 10 years ago, but it made
It is cool when they come from overseas. Even like seeds, man. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
people use them, and they're coming from overseas. And there's a lot of local banks in the U.S. that do a good job getting seeds to the people. But
Man, they do.
it's come a long way.
I've had incense and all kinds of weird, just interesting creative ideas, which I really enjoy.
I got a
Putting into
Barbie
the
doll in one.
database. You know, I mean, it's if somebody's going to spend their time messing around with that, they're really got a grudge. That's what I, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck, really? Uh, it's getting to be overwhelming, I think, for the regular way to send things. And I'm pretty sure eventually here it'll be good. And everything, you know, plausible deniability is the medical aspect of what's going on. And it's very hard to get a conviction in that regard. It really is.
Yeah.
So,
You guys ever worry that you're gonna fuck up if you send something internationally? Like, you know, it's not like city, state, whatever. Like, it's like depending on where you send it, it'll be like province
oh, yeah.
or like whatever, and like all the different categorizations are in different orders, and they'll send you their address and their way, and you look at it and you're like, what in the fuck is that? But then you
Yeah.
kind of go through it and fill it out. Thankfully, like all but one of my international books has made it, so I had to resend one to New Zealand, which hopefully we'll get there soon. But
I always double check. This is
yeah,
how it's going on the, is that right? And I did that last time and he said, no, you got to add this. I'm like, okay, thank you. You know, so it's all part of the process.
sometimes like I entered it exactly as they wrote it, and it just I don't know. Sometimes like there are certain countries that I use the shipping like app or website that it would like verify almost all the addresses, but certain countries it wouldn't allow me to. So some of them they said it's real remote where they're at. So
Yeah, I used to
guess
do a lot of UPS shipping at this the last place I worked at, and we had a military contract and shit. There'd be some addresses that just like, you know, you'd have to call UPS and get a human to talk to, and that was an ordeal. So, yeah, I did that.
Had some addresses that were like fucking overseas. Fuck, it might even be John, to be honest with you. That were like so unbelievable, so like sounded so remote that were like, you know, go down fucking. They sounded more like directions than, you know what I mean. It's
Follow
like
the white rabbit
down such and such trail, turn left at the fucking Y, you know, at a big oak tree, lot 7. And I was like, no way that could be right. But yeah, it was it played more out as like, you know, a description, like you were actually telling somebody to get there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's remote.
Like
When
there
you're
was like
using
no other possibility.
when an oak tree is your mailbox.
Yeah. Then you must be a squirrel. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Be a
So,
different living
I'm
there,
just-
for sure.
Oh my god.
I'm curious because I know Smiley, you've got some of your keepers from Sin City Seeds, if I'm remembering correctly. And I know you've probably got a few other breeders that you've got their cuts. So I'm curious if you do and which ones, and maybe what everybody like, if you, whether you're keeping it or not, what you would consider a keeper. Some of the breeders that you've popped seeds and you're like, damn, that was worth keeping, and you put them on that like quality of like, oh, I'd buy their pack again, or I've got some seeds, I'm gonna grow them again.
Man, you know, Sin City's got two of my keepers. That's Raspberries and the Blue Lime Pie. But I have run probably 7 different ones that didn't keep. So like Platinum Delights was really good. I fucked up on my pheno hunt with the Nightmare Cookies. I had a very unique pheno. I got pictures of it on my Instagram, but I kept the wrong number. I don't know. I grew it out the next time and it wasn't the same. Definitely wasn't the same. So, but yeah, trying to think what other keepers I got that are cut only. I got Grim Glue, so Brothers Grimm. I got Sea Stars from 808 Genetic, Platinum Cake from In-House Genetic. I mean, nothing against Lucy grown. I mean, I ran a few things and they were good. I mean, it wasn't like anything like that. It was just like the Fader Actual. I ran that. That was super gassy. It didn't yield as well, and it was kind of in the same flavor category as the Ghost, and the Ghost yielded more, Ghost OG. So it was kind of like, I don't know. That's why, like Bingus, when you were saying you like just running all gas stuff, like it's kind of like at a certain level, it can be a bit redundant of a flavor too.
Yeah.
So, like,
True.
I don't know, but there's
Going back to the patients though, with the gas, some people, like you said, down here, there's certain patients that are like, if it ain't gas, I don't want it.
That's pretty much
It
Yeah,
ain't
some people are
gas,
just hooked
kiss
on
my
OG.
ass.
Yeah, and like in that OG, I hate nothing, no offense to Vader or any breeder, but like your name is likely not bigger than OG, whether it's Ghost or any other OG. So when you've got the cut, is it, do I keep this or OG? The OG yields more, they're both gassy. OG's like a more popular name and it's as good or better, you know? So I think that makes it an easy sell
because the
to
Vader
the people
Actual
for the
is
most part.
supposed to be his like the Vader OG times the Vader OG times the Vader OG kind of thing. So it was like his inbred line of
But
that Vader
some-
cut that he had.
sometimes that doesn't always give you
Mhm.
the results. I mean, if inbreeding, all right. I mean, just look at humans. Sometimes things don't go the way they should. People end up
Yeah.
with 6 fingers and shit. You know what I mean? It's,
I'll say like the Cinderella 99 F1s I grew versus the F4s I grew. The F4s were so runty and the slowest starting plants. Like it took them forever to even get to like the point where I was like, these are ready to flip. Where the F1 was done, flowered. The other ones were just ready.
F1 vigor. It's pretty.
It's
calm.
real.
Yeah, I do have some gas from Freeborn selections too. I have a couple different ones. That Sky Colored Kush is from Mean Gene, and I got
Now there's some southern stuff that's good. I know the hog comes from Tennessee actually. And man, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing there, I've got to tell you. So there's just so much. I mean, after today, I'm just like boggled where to. Immediately, I wanted to do the face off, but just got it. And these are older seeds, so it's like, God, I want to get them going because I don't want them to get older. You know what I mean? So it's like, we'll get her done.
When it comes to OG, I like the Kosher Kush is my favorite, if that counts as an OG, which I'm pretty sure it does.
what is, I mean, I know that the OGs that I've grown are all kind of lanky and they have kind of a similar leaf pattern. And they have that kind of earthy taste to them. Is that kind of what an OG is?
Definitely lanky,
gas.
definitely, yeah, gassy. Very
Fuel, lemon, earth, pine.
Yeah.
the one I get the lemon the most in is the Ghost or derivatives of that. Like I said,
Mhm.
Green Dot Labs in Colorado, concentrate company. They had what they called Screaming OG, and that was a BX1 of the Ghost, and that had the most lemon of any note of the OGs. I've had a SFV that had a little teeny bit of a lemon, but way more pronounced in this Ghost back cross. But the kosher, I would say that's more earth and fuel. And then one that I don't think shares any lineage, but to me, I get a lot of the same similar terpenes, but with more complexity, is what has a million different names, the Pure Kush or the Hollywood or the Topanga. I've had that, which sometimes to me at this point almost smells better than OG. So last one,
I would agree. Some of the crosses
yeah,
can change up the flavor a little bit,
yeah,
make it more like unique. Smiley Skywalker, for example, I was just looking at my notes about his Ghost OG, and it was like pine, gas, lemon, and earth is what I wrote. But then when I looked at his Skywalker, I had written that it's lavender. There's lavender notes that I was picking up in it, and that makes it a little bit different. And certain people that haven't experienced that or tried that before, that floral note for me is one of the more unique and enjoyable ones in cannabis. It can kind of like catch people off guard, and it has a really nice aroma when it burns in the room, but it also has a different effect. It can be more sedating, but I just think that flavor in the in your mouth flavor of that is just really enjoyable. Like
mm-hmm.
Some of the sherbets have that to me too, like the gelato.
Yeah, very.
Gelato 41 has a little bit
I've
of
had
that, like
very
really nice floral.
perfumey floral gelatos.
Mm-hmm.
But the a little bit of the ones that are sesquiterpene or terpene alcohols that are more floral, I feel like are the least abrasive to the respiratory, to me at least. You know, the lavender ones, the um, lilac, the jasmine, you know, the sage, those kind of ones, the sandalwoods. Those ones kind of tend to be more easy to hold down in the lungs and have the same smell and flavor on the palate going out. The way the bud smells is the way that what sticks on your palate after you exhale.
I got some nice sandalwood on the F1 of the Cinderella 99, but then the F4 was directly selected for the pineapple and grapefruit, and the phenols that I got were pineapple. But really delicious stuff. It just was so slow growing and average yielding to low yielding by the time the F4 had happened. What happened was they took Cinderella 99 from Brothers Grimm, then F2 and F3 was done by Dynasty Genetics, and they were hunting for that pineapple or like tropical phenos. And then my buddy Two Scrogs made F4s, and he gave me those F4s. And I think by the time it gets to F4, and I'm curious how the Velvet Punch will be because F1 and F2 were really vigorous. I'm curious what F3 will be like. But F4s, I think, like you're saying, biggest. By the time it's more purified, you're going to get exactly that genetic, but it might not be as fast growing. And I don't know if that'll necessarily impact yield down the line, like when it's a clone later on and more established. But I do think that there is more vigor for sure in the earlier F generations, which makes sense if it's a true hybrid. But there's a lot of polyhybrids which wouldn't have as much F1
Let me
hybrid.
ask a question, Jeff. Let me ask, what do you think would happen? Let's say you get to F4, all right, then you pop another group of those seeds, all right, and take the F4 and try to get F1 vigor. See what I'm saying? So go back to a different pheno that's likable, put them together to get an F1 of that cross and regain, dude, because you would maintain the strength of the genetic pool of the F4 and hopefully capture the vigor of the F1.
And here's another thing you can do, Bingus. Russ the Jeff taught me this. Not directly, I mean, I'd learned it through him though. While you're doing like the F3 and F4s, like I have an F2, like that sawtooth pheno that I haven't explored yet, but I've got my phenos that I'm picking on their color, their smell, their effect, and their growth. So if you have two different lines kind of going, like if you do an F2 of like the sawtooth and then like F2 of like the grape gas, eventually you take the two F4s, and even though those are becoming inbred F4, F5, they're starting to be less vigorous. If you cross those into each other, then they regain that vigor again. Or you can cross back to some of your earlier generations of seeds, like your F1s and your F2s,
Good point.
and see what you get.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's what the brothers Grimm, the genius and princess, are sisters. They're both phenos out of the same seed run.
In crossing and back crossing, and it's really interesting. But like I said, I just really wanted to see firsthand for myself with a strain that I love, and through F2, it's been really vigorous. Almost F1 and F2 were pretty similar for the phenos. I was looking for a specific thing. The only difference mainly was it turned purple later in flower, and there were some different aromas.
Is that Green's 13 younger brother?
Right? I was just gonna say we got somebody different than
Who's that handsome dude? Who's that?
He's got a little head though, hasn't he? He looks little.
Everyone getting their haircut.
Why? Who else got a haircut?
Red Pill, but he's off camera. I got mine cut a little.
Damn, yeah. Nice.
Springtime.
Yeah.
Springtime.
That's a good way to lose weight, eh?
I did
Where
it
the
so
sun
my dog
came
could
out,
actually
you
lick
see.
my face.
I'm a sunbather. I need to get soleil on me.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
We're all looking dapper.
My
this is
wife
like a
hates
dapper
it.
gentleman crew. All cleaned up. Even like Eagle always comes on the show cleaned up, but the one night someone Spiky got him to come on. He didn't think he was gonna be on camera. I think that surprised a lot of us. I was like, holy shit, Spiky. Anybody know what his last day is? I need to wish him well at least one more time before he goes.
I was glad to see his face. Good interview.
He's going on vacation, unfortunately.
That's some bullshit.
Dude, you look good without a beard, buddy.
Well, I do. Should long answer short, Jack. I do.
Has it happened yet? Yes or no is all I'm really wondering. Am I too late to wish him?
I don't think so.
Okay, I need to reach out to him. Hopefully he'll hear this if he's still listening.
Must be weird waiting. That must be weird.
Oh man, I had to fucking flee. I'd be like Neville, man. I'd be in another country or some shit, or at least trying. I know during these times it's probably harder than fucking ever though, right? Like getting out of a country during this fucking crazy shit. Like no fucking way, right? You're fucked. Everybody, you'd have to be clever. I don't know. Very clever. Catch me if you can type shit. I ain't risk my passport over that. Also, I guess in that case maybe I would. But
have you got one?
Yeah, I do.
Damn.
I've been over there. I've been I've been close to you, not quite there though. Slovenia, Croatia, Italy, some of the touristy spots. Good people.
My damn passport expires next year.
Get that sucker renewed ahead of time. It's a pain in the ass.
Do you have to do it?
Well, you say that there's a new world order and you'll never be able to leave, so
we'll see.
Here we go, wormhole, dive down.
Oh, with that your vaccine card?
That's where my line is drawn. I won't get that vaccine unless it prohibits me from leaving the country.
They will sign the waiver that it won't hurt me. I will take it. If they won't,
Oh, they got those waivers ready, dude. They're ready. They're right there.
Yeah, they look just
you
like.
won't live to you won't live to
Oh, we're
capitalize
out.
on it.
Let me just check this drawer. Oh, nah.
No, they
But you
probably
got to
sign it.
take it.
Well, you're not going to live long enough to capitalize on it anyway. So go ahead.
I'll say that the United States, if you're here, is a beautiful country, and there's a lot of places that you can go and travel remotely.
Exactly. Well said.
Oh,
yeah. Well said.
In the meantime,
I'm joking. I'm spoofing. I'm not trying to get political at all. I'm just making fun.
it's just kind of a reality, though. The situation is certain countries at this time. My brother and his fiance and her child, his daughter, newborn, she's stuck in China and has been. She cannot come to the United States yet because travel is still cut off. So
Now that's some bullshit.
It's pretty
That's a
safe
very
in
real
Wuhan. I hear you can go and party and there's no social distancing. It's on. That's the destination this summer.
see you there. Rolling out.
You first.
Spring breaks coming up, man. We're going.
No, we actually can't go. As Americans, we can't go to China, and Chinese can't come to the U.S. because either way, they both want to see each other, obviously. But they're supposed to get married last 4th of July.
Thinking
Yeah,
a good
obviously it didn't
investment
happen.
would be body rubbers.
How American is that? 4th of July wedding. And they can't do it because they're stuck in China.
I thought that was just the old president. Now we got open borders and shit. We can just do whatever.
Got to be able to climb the steps before you
Right.
cross the
Oh,
border.
that's the thing. They got to come in across the border illegally, and then they don't got to worry about it.
Well, you know what's funny, Smiley, is in 90 Day Fiance, a show my wife and I am embarrassed to admit, have watched. One of the things that people did during these times was they would go to Mexico first, quarantine for 14 days, and then they would enter through the border there versus coming from, because if you can't go from, China to the US, then you go from China to Mexico and then quarantine and then go from Mexico to the US. So that might be an avenue that they might have to explore. But
She's jumping the wall. Fucking running.
she has a K1 visa, so she's legally coming. Whenever she does it, it's just a matter of like if she can legally travel into the country based on the current times.
I'm just saying instead of quarantine.
Dabs in here.
That's funny though.
I don't know.
It's
I just
111
wonder-
here. Angel number,
111.
sorry.
That is far.
111. 111.
Was sitting here calling to me. So.
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of digging Green 13's younger brother. What'd you do with Green anyway?
It's on the floor over there. I need to hoover it up, actually. I got in shit for it. You're just going to leave that there?
Now, God dang it, are you GMO?
No.
I think GMO's like 20 stone, big fat dude. He ugly as well. Won't show his face. Is he on chat?
Okay.
No, obviously he's like prohibition, so he's concerned that.
Okay.
That's just Keno.
I'm confused. Okay, that's Keno. All right, dude, I'm trying to get things straight. You guys will keep running me in circles. It's funny. You think it's Stephen's bloody American. He doesn't know who we fucking are. You know, it's true. So, because I asked, I think it was GR420, if he was Green 13. He said, no, Green 13's his own dude.
Yeah, we're not all the same person.
All right.
Yo, sounded like I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh shit, he is in as well. Hello, brother.
Laughing.
There it is. GR420. What's up, man?
So we get all our jokes 30 seconds later, right? Jokes.
Yo, funny stuff.
Wow.
So now we get into a deep topic, right? It's almost 4:20. We got to cover some deep topic.
420? Yeah, it is. I'm gonna smoke some more of this white cranberry dessert that came out of Smiley's garden.
Hey, Red Pill, you'll be proud of me. I fucking looked into getting farmland on a lease so that I could get a hemp license and fucking grow the shit out of some hemp for terpenes to distill it and make different products. I'm considering getting into it because I think it'd be fun, one, to breed and make seeds in a larger scale outdoors. If I could get a good deal with a person locally, I think it'd be a fun little project.
Did you happen to check out the Future Cannabis Project when they cover that HempCon, whatever?
I haven't yet, but I will say I did see them with Bollywood Bam, who is a cannabis breeder, who was talking about trying to breed cannabis versus trying to breed hemp, and how working with the CDFA, which is California. It is California pretty much, or it used to be once upon a time. But California Department of Food and Ag is who works with the hemp people, versus the BCC, Bureau of Cannabis Control, is who works with the cannabis people. So like as far as plant counts and space, like outdoors, indoors as a medical patient, I can grow as many as I want. Outdoors, 67% of counties have outlawed anything, greenhouse, outdoor, whatever. You can't grow it at all. So unfortunately, you're much more limited, but with hemp, you can grow as much as you fucking want outdoor. And they're like, even if you grow it over 0.3 THC, they'll just be like, hey, you know what? That batch you just don't release as for sale. And they like work with you. They're like not trying to like fuck you over and like fine you or do.
So is there going to be is there a loophole where like like hot, hemp that is hot for THC is going to find its same place where salvia and spices, where it's in a little package and it says not for human consumption? Could that happen?
They just took away our 0.3 thing, and so all CBD in Britain now has just been changed to 0. So of course it's useless. I don't want to say useless. It's basically useless. You haven't got that thing that's gonna.
Wait, they went down.
Help.
They went down.
Wow. They went from 0.3 or whatever trace amounts to 0. So everything in the shops had to get pulled out and replaced with stuff that now people won't probably buy because they know they won't get any
I was
entourage.
just gonna ask though, like, what are they producing? That are they having total 0 THC strains? Is that?
I'm talking about legal hemp in for CBD in like wellness stores. So it could something that's always happened since forever. We've never had a problem with hemp. So the hemp bill hasn't changed us. It's never been illegal here. And the same with seeds. But because of some of this stuff that's, in the last couple days, we've gone down from trace amount to 0 amount. And so all will be available now is stripped down Chinese CBD. So there are people who genuinely use that. As it happens, CBD is awful for me. I hate the stuff. It straightens me up. It clears out my cannabinoid system. I do not want that at all. It's frightening to me. But for some people, they find huge relief from it, right? So that's a bummer for them. Joint pain and all sorts of weird stuff like that people have taken for years.
Without the entourage effect, all the medicine of cannabis is not really as effective. It really isn't.
If they only have CBD like isolate available, if they can get their hands on a little bit of flour, use a little bit of that flour with the
anyone who's who needs to look further. I'm just literally talking about high street and legal UK consumption.
There's a lot of very beautiful hemp strains, Jack, that you can get your hands on. I spent yesterday with a gentleman. It's not really a hemp farm. I call him Dave, but he has some acreage. He planted last year. He's planting this year, and I go out and kind of consult with him. He's got a beautiful big home. He wants to do some indoor hemp, so that he's going out and indoor.
Yeah, I know. She now looks ready.
Green 13, you're not muted.
Hey, there you go. Anyway, when you find the strains that you have, if you do start an indoor, that's where you get your real consistency. And it depends on how big, but again, if you can make your own oil, then you have complete control over that, and complete control of the quality of the products that come out of that, which is the biggest issue. You know what I mean?
My buddy who shared the Velvet Punch with me, he also breeds with actually a majority of his stuff is CBD. A lot of it is high CBD, not majority, I'd say like probably close to 50-50. But he has some work that's actually certified hemp within the California CDFA. I think it's, I'm blanking on the name, but he's definitely got at least one registered. And I know he has like a handful of cultivars, and they look just like cannabis. You know, somebody in a comment, there's this like shoes that are made out of hemp, and it on the box it says like cannabis shoes, and somebody in the comments is like, oh, it's hemp, not cannabis. And I commented, hemp is cannabis.
Same thing. Yeah.
I never quite understood that one either. But
well, that's for them,
good,
innit? We give them another word to use.
Yeah. It beats marijuana.
Yeah, I'll take both of those over that.
But hemp is a much broader, deeper market.
420 is coming up. Don't miss our dab.
And it can be very
119.
lucrative for those that want to get into it.
Oh, there it is.
Love, boys.
Cheers, everybody.
Finishing it with Day Wrecker.
So,
Tuscadero's pretty damn good.
so here you guys. Hold on, I gotta fucking find Zoom. I can't even remember if I'm mic'd anymore. I've been checking out pictures. You guys probably been wondering what the fuck. Probably wondering what the fuck I've been doing all this time.
It's nice to see you without a background, though, dude.
At least you weren't rolling a hash worm at the same time, Eagle.
So this was you bring up Zoom here. This is the dab song Saint Bernard sent as a alternative. This is actually the dab song, a German version.
Wicked.
Joseph Man sent one.
Oompa version.
Sent one. I said it's the mushroom edition. This is the mushroom edition of a dab song. It's trippy. Dozer Man sent one too, but it wasn't a link to YouTube. It was like I haven't figured out how to way to kind of necessarily make it accessible super easy on the computer yet. I always appreciate when people send me links and shit. And they're like, check this out. This is an alternative to the dab. I get quite a bit. I'm actually heating mine up so I can take a fucking dab real quick.
Dabbing on acid.
I like it. Not much bass, but I like it.
Cheers, St. Bernard. Thank you for that suggestion, by the way.
I might need to take a microdose.
It's actually in the dab song list on my channel there.
It's kind of the dab song with a Frank Zappa twist. Dozer is great.
Is it the devil talking if you play it backwards?
I think if you just play it forwards.
No, it's regular.
I want to hear it at 2x speed next time.
chipmunk.
That's pretty good stuff right there. It's definitely trippy.
Yeah.
We haven't got any Germans, have we? Spikey's the closest, because isn't he in Germany?
Yeah,
Spiky won't even claim it. He's
he was kicked out of Germany actually. Ach, die Leber.
Cheers to our those of you, if you are German viewers. Hopefully you understood some of that.
We're freaking out dogs in the chat room with that song.
That is fucking funny right there.
Maybe sure.
Actually, like, what the fuck's going on?
Need to play some Mendo Dope to get Eagles dog singing and dancing.
Have I ever showed you guys that video?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. But you should play it for the chat who hasn't seen.
I think the only way I can do it is without just to bring it up. You know what I mean? I don't have it accessible. So I sent it to them. One of the versions. I have many, but you'd think I'd have it handy, but I don't. Let me see here. Let me go to Instagram, bring up my chat with them. Because I thought that shit was funny as fuck. And I still think it's funny. And it's no word of a lie because he does that shit every fucking time. Every time. Every fucking time. If he were in there right now and sleeping, he would do it. All right, let's see if I can bring it up full screen. Let's see if I can turn it up. All right. This dog goes crazy every time he hears his song. Come on, internet. I'm gonna buffer right now. Right now.
He's that weird dude narrating over it, though.
He was sleeping when I started this, by the way. Right on that pillow. Come on, buffer. That's my watch it. Make sure you get that scratch off before you fucking get your solo bubble. Dog goes crazy every time. What happened?
Restarted.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I know it. What a shitty lead up. Now I gotta find a good
Chad. A good Chad.
What is it?
He's got an emoji that's the loading screen. Just look in chat.
Dude, that's
what are you showing?
That's a total good one, Chad. You could stop somebody for hours with that sucker.
That's funny.
The circle isn't even moving.
When your wife sends you a message, you've taken the pins out. Just send her that.
Big ups to Mendo Dope, man. They're doing good stuff. It's cool to see their work going out.
It's funny.
Green 13. You ever fuck with your wife and like send her like the message? Like if you block somebody and they message you and it sends that right away. Like if you just happen to be right at it right away, like have it pre-typed out, like send her like boom, like you blocked her or something, and then just fucking hear about it later, or see if she buys it at all.
Women are too smart.
It could easily happen, mate. We both have carpal tunnel from the angle of our wrists for most of the day. We're pretty bad with it.
I always use the voice to text excuse.
Yeah, well, I talk to my phone a lot. I don't type much.
Either. But some of the stuff that comes out doesn't match what I'm saying. I'm like, wow. If I'm really stoned, I notice it. kind of picks up on that and changes words just to fuck with me. So I'm really just fucking
Just to
with
fuck with
myself,
you.
basically. Setting up a little loop for myself to go through and take another bong rip. Yeah.
So I actually found, holy shit, I'm looking through my phone. Oh, I've got a shit ton of the shout outs. The ones I thought I lost, I actually got on my phone.
Jack, you typed them all out in one of the comments too. I noticed that. I was going back and reading some of the comments, so because I don't know.
Or it was the.
I have like 11 minutes to go.
Oh,
Someday
really?
I'll fucking go through and finish it. But I probably misspelled a bunch of them and missed
So-
a few because the music's like.
That's cool.
Well,
but
I did,
you should shouldn't it go in like an Excel or something, and then you can like
They could copy and paste it. Fucking whoever wants to put it in there, into a Word and then edit it. I don't know. I was medicated and I was like fucking listening to it at 0.25x, just typing it out, fucking smoking a joint.
I'd kind of like to give a shout out to one of the best educators in the business here, Wolverine Grove. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I really like listening to your advice and all the good things that you have to say about cannabis. And everybody else in the chat room, Chad, some great stuff, 420, Mole Vision, Top Floor Genetics, all you great people. Jason, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to see every one of you, seriously. And of course, everybody on the panel too.
I bet you that all the best gardeners and all the keenest minds in chat have never been on this panel. I bet they're all sitting there thinking, these fucking doofuses, that's not right. That's not what redox is.
Right on,
That's
Nation.
this year's videos, this year's interviews.
In 100 years,
Wolverine's been on
hopefully
here.
look back at us.
Wolverine's been on.
I know he has. I was just thinking of the people in chat, and because he went on to say, and all the great people in chat, yada yada yada.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go join those great people in the chat. Say peace and love, Eagle, Green 13, Smiley, Bingus, and Red Pill. It's been a pleasure talking with you all. Made it all the way down to the 420. I'm sure I'm gonna open that door up in at least one other person's. Hopefully, I don't, predict the future too much, but I'll be hanging out with the people in the chat for a little bit. Catch y'all on the next one.
Always great to see you,
Jack, man.
Yep, great to see you. Yeah, I'm going to take this bong rip and exit. Thanks again for a great holy mo, wormholio. Excuse me.
Cheers.
I am
Thank you for popping on, man.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
My kids watched that the other day, or tried to watch it, and they were like, "Is this over yet?" They had no interest in that shit. None.
About what?
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, really? Ah.
Yeah. I couldn't believe
I
it.
thought that would translate across fine. Like,
I did too.
Good night, you guys. Be good to yourself.
See you, brother. Love
Thank you.
fingers, man.
Cheers, Bingus.
Yeah, I like that show. I ain't heard that for ages.
I've been watching.
My oldest daughter liked it.
What, is it too stupid?
Maybe to current standards. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? From the time my
Yeah.
oldest watched it to the boy when they're watching, my current kids are watching it. Fucking 8 years. Nowadays, man, things are
Things are
kids
smart now, aren't they? Yeah.
Kids are like fucking real quick to jump on shit these days. At least, and like so politically correct. Like I can't even keep up anymore, to fucking be honest, with some of the bullshit. Maybe I'm just stuck in my own little cannabis bubble. But like,
Oh
I
my God.
fucking
49, and he said it. It's on camera. I just can't keep up anymore. There you go, kids. It's recorded for you. It's at the age of 49 it happens.
well, in the say, yeah, well, say maybe so. Maybe so.
You know.
My example here was I was telling Alexi the other day and my younger daughter that I played that Eminem song Without Me. And they were like, Eminem, fuck Eminem, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what's wrong with Eminem now? What the fuck, man? Really? I can't, you know what I mean? I can't keep up with who you kids are fucking angry at anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of meant to be fuck Eminem anyway. That's the point.
All right, guys.
You do look a shitload younger there, 313.
My wife said the same. She's very happy. Yeah, but weirdly, my mother-in-law came out and said, "Oh, I really like the beard. You look like a hippie." So I was like, "Oh." I was sunbathing yesterday, and my neck felt white.
Yeah, it does feel different. I kept going like this when she chopped mine too. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's the exact move. Because when I'm sitting doing stuff, that's the move, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah, you grew yours in like 2 months. Mine took like 2 years to grow, man. That was some bullshit.
No canary flew out of there.
I'm gonna do it again. I'll do it again next year.
Right? You guys all just go like in a month. Mine's like two years in the process of shit.
I've never committed to that long. I've maybe gone like 7-8 months, about the longest.
Yeah.
The longest I've been able to commit to a stash or anything like that was last night while I did the shout outs with the digital one.
Razor blades are expensive though, Eagle. Always wet shaving.
Yeah. I was gonna say this fall we'll give you till fall and you'll be like switched over to organics and growing a beard and dreadlocks and start.
My kids hate my shaving, my shower, man. I like my showers are honestly like 40 minutes long, guys. I'm in there, I fucking shave the head, my face, I brush my fucking teeth. I'm fucking, yeah. It takes a minute, but whatever. You know what's funny is I've shaved my head for years and years and years. Years. And had thought I was saving that shit right, and it wasn't until I got actually shaved by a lady tattoo artist that I fucking learned like a whole fucking different method. And I shit you not, man, saves a lot of blades and it saves a lot of fucking time. The whole like honestly, like how we do, like fucking stroke. Never leaves the skin. It's more like almost like you're erasing something. You know what I mean? And fucking that shit right there fucking saves so much.
I'm scared, man. You're frightening me. I get you. I know what you're talking about, but like, it would take a minute for me to get used to that. Already, like, when you have a child and your child watches you shave and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Don't do that. And it's like, it's fine. You've been doing it forever. No, it's a blade. So I could, but yeah, I'm kind of having the same reaction.
I can't imagine how you guys used to do that fucking sling blade shit and fucking back in the day, the straight blade fucking guy sitting there with a leather strap. If that were the case, I would have the fucking big old. I'd have a beard fucking like none other. If that was the case, I had to wait for some guy wielding a blade for fucking carrying on a good conversation the whole time. I'd be like, wondered how this guy's day's been and shit.
Yeah, I gotta have my
Yeah.
bro come with me and stand next to you while you shave me, just in case you know.
Yeah, right? Keep him in check and shit. Yeah. Yeah, fuck, man. It's a commitment, that's for sure. But
Cool, man.
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
I'm out.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
Smiley. I know
Smiley.
you're trying to leave.
Yeah, no, I am too, man. It's like,
Love, brother, man.
that was good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eagle.
Peace out, Smiley.
Thank you, Smiley.
Chat.
We're gonna have like 80 degrees today or something, and tomorrow. So I'm about to get out in that.
Man,
Yeah, we got a
my
freak
weather is-
couple of days.
Oh, we got like, I think today, oh yeah, we got some freak shit happening here, brother, man. We got like, I think 60, 69 maybe here today. And
Is it
then
windy?
tomorrow, I think it's, no, not really. It hasn't been, or it's not supposed to be today. And then the following day, I think it's going to be like 26 with a low of 18. Like, then it pops 2 days of that, and then it pops back up to 60, and then a couple of freak days where it's back down, 18s and 29. I'd seen 29 for a fucking high, like the next couple of days. I'm like, ooh, I ain't ready for that. I ain't ready to go back. I ain't ready to go back.
420. If we had firearms, I would have killed so many people. I'd have been in jail so many times. I'm so thankful we do not have firearms. Every time I got pissed off, I'd have shot you by now. My wife would have been dead like 3,000 times. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have firearms.
It took me
I
a
don't
while
even know
to get one.
Right.
Oh, I just like,
I'm too much of an angry dude to be. Yeah.
I've always been a nice person, to be honest with you. Multi-purpose. 95 in fucking Thailand. Ooh. Captain 420. You keep that shit.
You know, Thailand's a really interesting scenario. I don't know, I'm sure we've talked about this, but they've legalized recently, and they're now paying their citizens to grow for the government. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's an actual thing. So, like, it used to be that you used to have to grow hemp to pay your taxes. That used to, back in the day, that was a have to in America or in Britain, one of those two. So it's really interesting that Thailand's done that. And in fact, you're basically paying your taxes. The government will pay you to grow, as I understand it, cannabis. So they've gone from that mega tight stance on any type of that sort of thing to complete legalization.
Yeah, at one point we did definitely have the hemp is for victory. It was grown for wartime materials here. But yeah, it's crazy how they can momentarily find the good in it, and then just all of a sudden it's bad again.
Yeah, I think when they do that, at some point, I don't know exactly how it was if there was anyone that cared if you planted in your front yard prohibition of it or pre-illegal times. But it's what I think is holding it back is they still don't ever treat it like a medicine. And that's kind of how it gets Schedule 1, Schedule 1. Part of that, whatever definition says that nothing in Schedule 1 has no proven medicinal value. So it's like once they give up on that, once they kind of admit that, yes, it does, I think that's what's going to make it be either deschedulized or be federally legalized, because I'm pretty sure that they're just thinking that, anywhere where they did medical places first, and now they'd have recreational, they're kind of slowly trying one way or the other try to phase out the medical, either by not letting you home grow, or like in Arizona, making all the medical shops just instantly recreational shops. Then you go to the same place and now you got twice as long of a line, and they don't designate medical for recreational. So you're a medical person sitting in line and you got 20 other rec people in front of you. Yeah, I'd like to see it, because I think what they did is they said, well, legalizing it for medicinal was just kind of your excuse. It's really just a drug. We're legalizing it for recreational, and this is what you really wanted the whole time anyways. So then they look, they don't look at medical, and it's still the whole argument of it staying at Schedule 1.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I just wanted to say congratulations to Smoking with Small Town, who just said he just had a baby boy in chat there. Not just now in chat, but you know what I mean. He just had a baby boy. Congratulations, sir.
Wicked.
Congratulations.
Awesome moment.
Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, that was wow, a life-changing thing.
Yes, it was. All 3 times. All 3 times. Never disappointed.
No, never got
All
a boy.
in good ways.
Wasn't looking for one or anything, but
I had that was literally.
I really think you
argument.
get what you should get. I really think you should get what you get. I think you should have got 3 girls. I think, yeah. I'm sure we've had this conversation actually, but I do think Mother Nature gives you what you should have got.
I have to unfortunately agree with it. That's why I actually against my mates at the time opinion was like she wanted to have like 10 kids. I was like and I seen the girl thing coming, and I actually this is no word of a lie, I actually threatened to just fucking explode my nuts outside. Fucking I had a big boulder. I said, I will sit out front and smash these balls with another fucking boulder before I have fucking 10 kids. 10 girls. I know I'm gonna have 10 fucking girls. There's no fucking way. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Luckily, that's not the way it worked out. It was more of a medical procedure. I didn't have to go that full route. But I threatened it. I fucking threatened it. I was fucking red-faced, vein popping out at the time. It wasn't even a choice.
What's going on? Are we coming to the end here?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I need to water these girls behind me, and I've got a Bingus Mile right there, somewhere right there behind me. We're outside. That needs to go in that pot, and some water and some other shit. If I'm lucky, I'll take down that girl that's over my shoulder there.
Nice.
I almost burned myself in that fucking email, that one back there. See that shit?
There it is. Nice. You got to get busy. Yes, I've got a lot to do today. I mean, a lot of chilling, but I've got to start by rolling a joint. I'm going to get out of here.
Thanks for popping in.
Have an amazing day. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Red Pill, and everybody else. Chat. Big love.
Yep. Peace. Yep, I made it. I made it to a wormhole.
I appreciate it, man. It gets weird sometimes, man. You get somebody, some of the regulars that pop in, and then you don't see them for a couple of days. It feels like off rhythm a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta at least pop on and be like, hey man, I won't be gone. Sleeping.
There was a
Sleeping.
couple of
Don't
them I
worry about
fell
me.
asleep to. I literally fell asleep to the Dank Duchess one, and I think the Shroom, Papa Shrooms or whatever. Yep. I
How
enjoyed
could you
them.
fall asleep to pop into the shrew? Now the Dang Duchess, that was a great back and forth.
Well, that was
But
one of
Pop
those
was
ones where
so
I was
full of
just like,
energy, it would have been hard to fall asleep during Pop's rooms.
I think it was just a lack of the time that it was and what time I woke up. A few times I've been waking up like pre-5. Like I think that was like one of those 4 a.m. wake ups. But yeah, the Dank Duchess one, actually, I was wishing I was more in chat for that one to ask questions. So
Well,
I
she
think,
said she'd come back.
yeah,
Anytime we wanted to put together like a hash style like episode, which, you know, more of the possibilities with some of these past guests, you know. You love to talk hash. We got Boom. We got fucking Smoky 420, DK 420, Nicotine, Melia. You know what I mean? The Dank Duchess. A few others that are still on their way. We got fucking who else has been on the show as far as hash goes? Mr. Bond 420 has been on. Fagroli. You know, we could actually put together quite the, you know, extract hash panel for a talk at some point.
that'd be awesome. And I also watched. I think I pretty much caught up
Indra,
on
how
all
the
the,
fucking I
yeah,
almost forgot Indra.
intra balls for sure have to be displayed. So
He said that he's asked specifically to kind of just stay to the one-on-ones for some reason. At this point, he just kind of would rather talk than argue. I think I think sometimes I don't know. So I don't know. And the Indra one might be a tough sell.
and it's weird when that happens, when it's like you want to hear from someone and you probably be on their side of the argument. You know what I mean? So
Maybe it might just been the approach. Maybe
yeah.
I could see this is where I love Indra's stories, and it's easy for me to pick the life stories out of Indra, you know what I'm saying? And but when it comes to, you know, fishing and that extract knowledge out of him, you know what I'm saying? Uh not my department. Not my department. I know when to say when, you know what I mean? I'd like to think I'm somewhat smart in that category to go, okay, yeah, not my department. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Smiley, because that's the line there too. Organics, yeah, not my department. Send your DMs that way. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fucking kid anybody when I fucking that's not my cup of tea. So, and when I initially approached him, I asked him if he was interested in like a Fagroli, him and Fagroli. So I don't know. Maybe it was the matchup. Maybe I could approach him again and see if you know, he'd be interested in me and you and him coming on. So I'm sure you'd have some great questions. You obviously know your shit about some extracts. So
I'd be down for that. That'd be something that I, just like when I had the opportunity to do the original episode, I wouldn't hesitate at doing an episode with Indra or anyone that you named before too. Yeah, I'd like I said, I just wish I could be more, you know, apply a lot of it right now. It's a bad timing for that to be in a, you know, the peak of being social, but not at the peak of being as productive. So I'd have to find tricky ways around that, and maybe not so ideal. Ideal, you know, I'd want to have all my own, you know, product or medicine, or, you know, from scratch, you know, everything done in house, right? So that can't be done.
that's the beauty of the the micro license here in Michigan,
Mhm.
to where you can keep everything kind of in house like that. That's what, as far as that's when I think about expanding it at some point, that's the route I want to go to. The only way that I can see in the emerging market to be able to, you know, do everything you want to do, keep it in house, and keep your brand and keep your quality true. You know what I mean? Your quality and your brand right. Because if you don't have that option to be like a caregiver or somebody, even a rec grower, or you know what I mean, a licensed grower, you risk the chance of turning it over to somebody else, slapping their sticker on it. You know what I mean, like a processor. We still have that option as caregivers to take ourselves into a processor. They can, buy our product. Some of them may keep your stamp, your sticker on it, or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, I would think the processor is going to put his sticker right over the top of your sticker, and then remark it, rebrand it, or whatever. And so you got to get lost in the system, or the latter happens. They keep your branding on it, and you've lost control of quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they
Brings,
buy it in bulk, and just as far as it could be dumped on a table. Who knows how it's packaged, when it's
then
packaged,
all of a
how
sudden you
long
have
it
bad
sits on there.
notoriety.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather keep it in house and small scale until I was able to take that next step for myself. Which to be honest with you,
Mhm.
I don't know if that would fucking ever happen. With 100, micro here's 100 plants right now. That's if you know what you're doing and you allowed yourself space, you know what I mean? I've cut my numbers drastically in the last few years. I used to utilize, I'm licensed right now for 72 plants, 72 plus my rack in a different area, the 12. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't use half that shit anymore. I fucking bigger plants. You know what I mean? I'm doing bigger plants now and keeping my numbers down. But I could see with this same process, bigger ceilings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do well for yourself with 100 plants with the proper setup.
There in Michigan, did they define a plant as mature as in flower? Can you technically have as many rooted clones or?
That's still a gray area. Veg is still a gray area. It's still 72 is 72. You know what I mean? There's no, you could this many in flower, this in veg. Clones are still a gray area. You can have them until they're rooted, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Man, they tried to fuck it up here. It's bad as like wet weight. They tried to make it at one point here, according to like the way you read the law. Basically, when you cut the plant, because of weight, you were fucking you were pretty much illegal until the thing dried, and then somehow you had to quickly disperse it to
Yeah, and that never gets
a lot
taken
of
into
number.
consideration because there's places, well, there is an example where it's like recreational. You can have 6 plants, but you can only have an ounce on you. How does that work? You can only get an ounce off 6 plants. So.
I would hope not. I would hope not. Yeah, it's just sad to think about. That would be your end outcome there. I don't think that even with my first grow that it was ever that bad.
Mm-hmm. But another reason why I was thinking to have it all in house is if you are trying to have some, open source way of teaching, and if you can control every variable, then you're kind of knowing what to expect, and you're kind of in routine of things, and it's almost like just repeating the same process over and over again and knowing what kind of outcome you have versus it'd be really hard to, like in my case, if I wanted to do steam distillations, without verifying that finding the gardeners that can produce varieties or just across the board varieties, like everything they grow in their garden is shooting way over 5% terpenes, or they just have one plant that does that. I wouldn't want to get myself into guaranteeing that I know I can get 5% yield off of their material if it's not 5% terpenes. You know, I need to know that, because if I think that it's 5% terpenes, but really it just smells loud and it's more like 0.5% or 1%, and then I come back and I'm like, well, we got like 20% the yield that I thought I would, then it's going to piss people off. So,
You know, I'm glad you say that, Red Pill. To be honest with you, if you go back and watch, I've done a couple episodes with Early as well. But in one episode, I asked him if that would be a benefit. And I still, because why wouldn't it be if you were an extract artist? And I think I asked Smokey the Bear the same question as well for the same reason. If I were like doing that for a living, and maybe you can confirm or deny what I'm saying here, as I was hoping I'd get out of them, but never really got. You know, I would want to see test results. I would want you to bring me your stuff, and it wasn't necessarily for, you know, cleanliness reasons, because that's unfortunately here in Michigan, that's when they take their shit to the extract artists, and it's like, here, clean this shit up, which I think is very shitty, because it's like bad. You're starting with bad product. You're fucking starting with bad product. How could that be? You know what I mean? Just because you can clean it up, how does it make? Because you cleaned it up, it doesn't. I get it, but I don't feel better about it, basically. But so if I were like, you brought me a strain, I would want to see, just like you're saying, a test result, so I knew where compounds fell where, what terpenes were in it, because there's different ways you can approach different, you know, isolates, right? Different ways. If you know it's higher in one way or another, you might take to a different extraction method, maybe different temperatures or something like that. Wouldn't them tests be handy in that aspect? If you, like, say you like you were saying, if you thought it was going to be high in one thing and you see it's high in another, you might go, well, it's better to go for this than it is to try to go for that. You know what I mean? Is that not true? Yes or no?
I think like how you do it with ice water, I think people that process and make a living doing that, I think that's probably the most thing that they're worried about. And especially how whatever type of mood the person with the material is giving them, if they're like really antsy about needing to get certain high yields off a material, and then you're looking at it and you know your test on it is knowing what kind of resin it should have on it. You're like, oh, this is so greasy already. There's no way it's gonna make it through all those bags as dry trichomes, or, you know, solid trichomes. But they're like, it needs to be stable, and we're gonna refrigerate it, you know, and all that kind of thing. They want it to be sandy, but there's just no way of processing that cultivar into sandy trichomes. Then yeah, that you have to tell them that, or else they're going to either be mad at you for not giving the product that they want. You know, some people you can work with, some people at that point they're just going to not understand and then tell you to fuck off and then go find another person to work with. But yeah, I think that's it. In that form, maybe it's not a scientific test. You know, it's just more of a tactical test, you know, if it's dry or greasy. But yeah, same thing. Like with the terpenes, you have to have a scientific test, because there's no way to just go by nose, like, oh, it's 12% terpenes. You know, that's not how it works. And the same thing would be in the hemp thing that we just talked about. Is this really THC-less, or is it the actual certified THC amount. The only way you're going to know that is to test it. So you can't make, it's really hard. Like they're just now making smokable flower form of CBD, cannabis / hemp. But you don't find live resin and shatter of that flower turned into that, because it just barely scoots by being 0.2 or 0.3% THC in that smokable flower form. So when you turn it into live resin and shatter without turning it into isolate, you're concentrating that amount of THC. Now it's 1 or 3% THC, and it's illegal. So that's why you don't see that. So it's another thing you have to test before you make. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of material. You have to destroy it or do something else with it.
You know, I do, when I wash my stuff, I do, most of the stuff I wash is my stuff. Occasionally I do wash stuff for other people, excess outdoor material occasionally, but most of it is my stuff. And if it's single source, all right, now it's single source to me is another term than single source to an extract artist means they've done it in-house, processed it all the way through. Single source to me would be I've trimmed everything, set it aside, and I know I'm running all, velvet punch. You know what I mean? Most times I'll like throw shit together. I don't give a shit. I like my hash. It's hash. So festival style almost, if you will. But sometimes I do take my shit serious. And when I do like a independent strain like that all by itself, I like to go about it with a 1 gallon bag test. See what falls where, to see if I can eliminate a few bags, see if I get rid of a few steps, and kind of know where I'm going to catch shit, basically. And sometimes in that test, you get an outright fail. It might look good going in, but yeah, like you as an extract artist, sometimes, man, it's nothing coming out. And if that happens to me, I stop right there. That 1 gallon bag, I'm like, this, it ain't even worth this process. If it fails that, then I either think back to myself and do to a dry sift, which again, that's something I can do to my satisfaction level, which again is, to me, I don't store it as a dry sift. I clean it up and then I press it into temple balls. That's the way I like my dry sift stored, to be honest with you. Pressed out all Frenchy style into a nice temple ball. My dry
all the way
sift.
Frenchy style. Do you do a little hot water wine bottle tech?
Exactly like that. Yeah, yeah. All the way through that. Through that. And but if I'm not gonna do that, and I'm thinking I don't have time for that, and it's failed the bubble hash method, well, that's when it's going hydrocarbon. I'm gonna send that off to, that guy, because that's when my next best option, I think. But usually it's up to that 1 gallon bag if I'm gonna do it which way, or if it's going out of my hands altogether.
Well, yeah, another one I think of, if someone was making, if their thing was growing and squishing their buds, making flower rosin, one that I know that wouldn't be the best to use unless someone has this is a specific phenotype. In the wormhole, when you mentioned about the testers of ninja fruit going out, when you can get the ninja fruit, from Stone Ninja at the cup, and other people in a booth next to him are selling their ninja fruit. And it was the ninja fruit that he gave out, I think at I always won't never get a year right, but one of the Northern California High Times Cup. It was one of his selected purple ninja fruit cuttings. And unless someone with that specific cut had any other experience otherwise, that is beautiful of a plant and nug, and good of a nug, and enjoyable to smoke, makes good extract. even if you want to turn it into extract, doesn't make good flower rosin. It's one of the lowest yielding. It's a complete waste of a beautiful looking purple nug to make it into flower rosin. Whatever resin it has, it doesn't move off the bud. It works fine in extract. I've had ninja fruit extract. I don't know if it
would have
if it's
been
hydrocarbon.
It would have had to have been around 2018, I'm guessing, for the ninja fruit.
Yeah.
You know how I know that? No, I know that right off the top of my head, because I'm usually shitty with numbers like that. It's because I was actually looking when I was all sitting here looking all retarded. Oh, let me see where it is. It's got to be close. When I was all sitting here looking retarded, I was looking through almost 20,000 pictures that I've fucking found. And I found one of the initial pictures of meeting Ninja there. And it was that year that I'm talking about. And it was 2018. So check the details on the photo. But another thing I thought was funny about that is because they were right next to hash bash pictures of that very same year. Where I sold some folks that we all know some seeds for their very first grow. And I was like, I hadn't realized it was 18. But I was surprised.
Funny story about that ninja fruit. Nuggus Fashion is who got that cut and introduced it to the circle of friends, and he gave it to Surrounded by Keith because they were both in Arizona. And then I got it somehow, and I couldn't keep it wet enough. This was the middle of the summer. This was the middle of July. I had half my veg lights turned off. Like I said, I had that T5 with the power veg. It looked like an American flag. It was all red, white, and blue. And I had half the lights turned off of that. And I begged one of my old roommates that still, when I couldn't get anywhere because I can't drive, he would sometimes give me a ride. I begged him to stop by and water this plant while I was gone. And it was when I was out in Arizona, ironically, where the clone came from, when I got to visit Sub, it just dried out. It didn't get watered by my roommate. I couldn't keep it wet enough long enough for the week that I was there without it getting watered in between. And came home and it was dried out like a crisp. So I lost that cut. And it's lived on through seeds that Keith made. It's a F5 sapphire mango or mango sapphire crossed to that ninja fruit. And Dutch Grows 420 grew a few of them out. And they're all varying different purple shades of purple. All three females are dominant, definitely in appearance wise for the ninja fruit. So that clone still is around, or those offspring clones are there. So hoping to get my hands on them or put them in the hands of someone that wants to do something with it. Either grow it out itself, and if they like it enough to keep it around, or just to keep it living long enough to pass it around until, make it play hot potato with this clone, basically. Until I can figure out a way to get it bred to something that I want to breed it to another colorful genetic.
Any idea what that would be right off the top of your head?
Well, they're not in my hands yet, so I don't want to speak things into existence that can't be technically made right now. But if it all goes right, yeah. So someone beloved in this chat that may or may not be helping you out with a project may or may not be the shout outs without naming someone directly. You get what I'm saying? So he has some pink bearing genetics, pink pistil, magenta calyx. And you offer those to me, and that's what I would like to do with it. So
I've got, well, I can't remember. Well, I know I've got one pack of, remember the cheesequake that turned pink, had pink hairs, the TCA, the one, that female that went around. I have a pack of those, that original, that time period, that era, that is, I have yet to pop. And then Shangri-La by Jinx Proof was another pink pistol. Shangri-La, actually, that one is, if I remember right, 9-pound hammer times Fudu Mayo, which is a Chinese strain, a Japanese strain he acquired. I don't know how. But that strain had pink pistols, and it made pink the prettiest. I mean, I guess if you're into that, I mean, I thought it was pretty. Pink hash, it was the hash had this pink hue to it.
yeah,
And every wash, it had that pink hue to it. It was very distinct. I mean, out of a line of hashes, you could pick out that Shangri-La hash every time, and it was super, super fucking tasty. I always contributed to the fruitiness of that Fudu Mayo.
yeah,
It really added something very distinct, because I grew the 9-pound hammer, and it was a completely different beast, different
right.
structure, and but it was a pleasure to grow. Fuck, I know it's in some of these. I wish I had folders, looking through them, looking for folders of the Shangri-La. I might have some Shangri-La pictures on this phone. It's fucking one of the problems, man. That's one of the things I hate. Well, again, Green 13 probably laughing at me right now. Is as I watch technology go, I still think this is gonna happen, Red Pill, is I've watched the cloud build. Come on, upload your shit to the cloud. Upload your shit to Google. Google's already fucked me out of fucking 15 gigs of fucking music I uploaded to play, and just recently they were like, oh, sorry, we're no longer playing music. You can try uploading your shit to fucking YouTube Music that will play commercials for you every 2 minutes.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's totally gone. I can't get it back. It's like, oh, that was a good idea. But I've always thought about the cloud thing, the same thing, that they're going to want you to upload all your shit, and then one day they're going to be like, yep, we got a nice file for you. It's going to be like $30 a month to keep all your shit. You know what I mean? And then at some point, if you don't pay your bill, they're going to be like, yep, shit out of luck. You know what I mean?
They did that with Hangouts and Google Plus. No more Google Plus, no more Hangouts.
And I had shit happen like that with other forums, Mass Roots and shit like that. So I was always leery. I tried to keep things backed up on computers, and then computer hard drives go down. You keep it on your phone, and then they fucking leave that thing on top of your car, drive off with it, and then you lose. Man, I can't think of how many gigs and gigs and gigs I've lost on fucking devices that I thought, oh yeah, I'll back that up another day or whatever. You know what I mean?
I wish I had a smart phone earlier, because a lot of my growth pictures from 10 years ago were on old devices, not smartphone devices. So yeah, they're gone.
I still have hard drives from old computers that went down that I'm still fucking hopeful someday that I can reclaim. You know what I mean? Pop that disc out of there, maybe put it in a new hard drive or some fucking goofy shit like that. to be able to reclaim old pics and shit like that.
And not just on my cell phone, but I said about forums. I still have repeating or recurring dreams about MySpace. Once in a while, I have a MySpace dream where I'm sitting right in front of the home screen, refreshing, looking for friend requests and checking who's online and shit like that.
So, I don't have this, like, I can pull this up on the computer again. I'm going to just have to show you on the phone. But this isn't the pink pistol pheno. But as you can see from that picture right there, hopefully, that thing fucking sugar covered. Oh, man. And the pink pheno was just like that, just as sugary, you know, sativa-ish leaning. But,
Yeah.
man, pleasure to grow. Pleasure to grow that strain.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to push the color road as far as it goes with no regard for like being picky about cannabinoids. A little bit picky of terpenes, because to me, I've had experiences where I've had really fruity purple weed. And like I said, it reminds me of like Pokemon fruit snacks or like gummy lifesavers, or just really weird fruit flavors that I can't even put my name on. And really sweet, really fruity. And then I've had other purple weed where it's more like darker, more like herbal, earthy, woody type smells, which are good too, but I just think they're more common. You'll find amongst the purple weed, you tend to find the more, I just don't know how to describe it other than like a woodsy purple kind of smell. The generic A purple smell, and then generic B purple smell is that grapey candy type smell. So that's what I'd want. I want to get this pink and magenta fades to like red. Like I want to plant that its leaves fade red and still has the pink pistils on red or magenta calyxes, but then has that Pokemon fruit snacks terpene.
Sounds like a tough combo to find. For me, man, I've said this quite a bit, man. I've never found that good middle of the road for me with the purples. You know, for me, the purples look beautiful, taste, they taste really good. And again, not one of my top terpene profiles.
I can live without it, but it's just for the pure, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia, but I think it's just a totally like aesthetic thing. And there's like a little pre-consumption high, or, you know, a little enthusiasm to knowing you got some purple weed and you're like, you know, look at how cool this weed looks. You get a little buzz off of that.
Yeah. Definitely pretty and smells really good again, but it just doesn't kick me back like when I want to smoke. I like to be kicked back, you know what I mean? It's more of a daytime smoke. And when I found, then if it's like a purple strain like Ninja Fruit, it either purple for you, nice pretty strain, and you got what we just talked about, a pretty weed with really nice terps. But again, Ninja Fruit didn't take me home. But the green phenols and with the purple, them fuckers give me anxiety. I don't like the green the phenols of the purples at all. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't like that version at all.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's weird.
I've had that with GDP, but it's kind of with the terpene thing. Like I said, I've the GDP purple phenos I've had, even though they were cooler looking than the green phenos. The green phenos had more of like that weird grape sweet tarts terpene profile, and I just thought, like, man, I want to make this terpene profile on this, you know, appearance or bag appeal profile.
See, when I think of the green, it's probably more like the other description, like a earthy grape, or the moreover for the green. Green for me, it's like a peppery grape, like a grape with like a little burn on the back end of it.
I've had that
Some of
with
the
the
ones that
Void.
give me anxiety.
Purple Apollo or the Void is like that, where that's the most black pepper terpene profile I've ever had. And that was with the green
Again,
and
with
purple.
that black pepper profile, again, that's almost how I seek out like strains for like patients, either that are my patients or potential patients, is that peppery. I find that them strains that actually give me anxiety like that, you know what I mean, are good for people with anxiety that have like anxiety every day. That peppery terp profile works amazing for them. But for me, that same joint, man, I've sat there with like one of my friend that was on that end. And he's sitting there going, man, I'll take all you got of this. And I'm like, take it, man. But same joint, I'm like pacing, you know what I mean? And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like,
The weed that
keep
does
it.
that to me is the dill pickles. The last time I experienced that was with a strain called the Red-Headed Stranger. I do have some pictures of that, but that was it's a Tom Hills Haze crossed to a Williams Wonder. So pretty much a narrow leaf hybrid to a narrow leaf hybrid. And yeah, that had that strange, almost, I've heard someone say it was like McDonald's pickles. It reminds me in some way, shape, or form pickles. I could see that, but that's the same thing. Is that besides being a lot younger and having a lot lower tolerance, that was like the last weed I smoked that gave me actual racy sativa high. Other than like, well, we didn't really talk about it or bring it up, but the shatter that I have now, I had that effect because I had the distillate that whole time. Since pretty much Christmas time, I had distillate, and when I switched to this shatter, the unknown amount of terpenes that this has was enough to basically make me feel like I was taking a few month tolerance break. First couple dabs. First dab made me sweat. A couple dabs later was almost like a little psychedelic. I could make it psychedelic if I wanted to. Very, like I said, racy in the mind, thought provoking, pacing. Definitely will make you pace. It's not something when you take a dab and it makes you want to lay down. When you take a dab, it makes you want to get on your feet and walk around.
See, that's what for me, the pines calm my fucking racy mind. That's why I like pines. I find are nice for my chest, which is fucking sucked in tons and tons of job site dust over the years. You know what I mean? And then I like the pines because it's like very head clearing. For me, in a very good uplifting mood too. For me, it's like when I'm sitting there, kind of. I have a racy mind, fucking very uplifting, very. I can't. Coffee. I drink. You wouldn't believe the amount of coffee I drink a day. It's unbelievable. And if I don't drink coffee, it's 10 times worse. It's 10 times worse. I'm like, I can't even sit still. So, you know what I mean? I like that pine because for me, man, when I'm like that and I can't sit still, that pine, man, it's like that first hit, man, it like clouds me for a second. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Is I'm holding it in. But when I like exhale, it's like I'm like exhaling out all the bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, I want to focus on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I like.
It's
That's
definitely
why I can get back to that.
It's definitely what I call like the masculine cologne type terpene profiles. Like Chem does that to me. Master Kush does that to me. Certain OGs will do that to me. Bubba Kush will do that to me. where I like that too. It's very, I guess, just relaxing, almost like a muscle relaxer type sense of that.
See, the ones you just named off to me work like that only in a joint one. See, this is the difference with me between gas and pine, because both of them do work for me in a similar fashion, just like you're talking about. Very calming, but this is the difference. That fuel, that OG, because I'm a 2-joint smoker, and I'm dedicated to Red Pill. If I fire that fucker up, I'm gonna finish it. Even if me and you are smoking and you're out, man, I am gonna fucking finish that thing. Just me. But with that being said, that first joint of the OG works very good, gets me nice and calm, nice and relaxed, gets my body feeling good. 2 of those, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking couch locked. I'm fucking watching TV the rest of the day if I'm doing anything. But if I double up on the pints, it's the same. Or with the pints, it's the same thing. Very calming, makes my body feel good, cleans my head. 2 of the pines, I'm still up and active, but now I'm like laughy. You know what I mean? I'm more sociable, to where the OG just kind of sets me right the fuck back.
So yeah, I have that with ChemDog a lot of the times, and it's something that it could probably be done with GMO or some modern ChemDog or the actual original ChemDog clones. And I had a situation with the Goji dog from Viola Viola Concentrates in Colorado. Don't know the origin. I'm just gonna have to say Goji, OG, and some ChemDog without doing the research. But 3 specific dabs out of this 1 gram sample I basically had. I only had 1 gram of it, and 3 specific dabs laid me out where I had to do the opposite of get up and pace around it. I literally had to lay down. And if you follow the story of how ChemDog got its name, before it was, or where the dog part comes in from the name, was the people that gave ChemDog that weed told him it was dog bud. And he's like, why is it dog bud? He's like, because you take 1 hit and you lay down like a dog. So for that to happen in there and be like, that's so effective and specific, you know, that I had that effect, and that's what effect it has. But a lot of, like how you said, I think it has to do with mono versus sesquiterpene, especially for ones like you said that don't bother your chest. Maybe the sesquiterpene ones are a little bit more a little less lethargic, where the little bit hotter burning monoterpene ones, like an OG has for sure. It's most of ChemDog, like the 91 and the D have.
I don't know if I could say it doesn't bother my chest as much as I like the fucking expanding of my lungs. You know what I mean? It's almost a workout. I can feel it when it gets in there. You know, it's like, you know, it's that deep breaths that I don't usually take. You know what I mean? So it's more of a workout for my lungs.
It's the ability to inhale it and not like the cough to get off high afterwards, right? You prefer it because of that ability to get that, you know, you're smoking and you're inhalating. So the point of it would probably be to have its, you know, the least harshest experience doing that, so that way you can smoke more of it and get more of it into your system. Is that more of why you think, or do you enjoy coughing, or does it, you know, induce coughing?
No, well, with the pines, I enjoy the more expanding of the lungs, not necessarily of the coughing. So I guess maybe it's a smoother with the expansion. But there's times though where, like, if I'm sick, I don't mind a cough, to be honest with you. I actually don't mind. You know what I mean? If I've got a phlegm or a sore throat like that, I'm take my cannabis and I'll hold it until the point of cough. And, you know, so I know that I'm bringing up phlegm and bullshit with that cough, and I'm getting it out. You know, I'm one of them people too, man. I'm like, I hate to see people fucking cough and fucking swallow that shit. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Spit that shit out, man. You're coughing it up for a reason. Why will you realistically send it back down into your body? Get it out of there. Get the fuck out of there. And I think that's what, you know, and I think it's helped me heal quicker a lot of times, actually, getting that shit out, having that mentality with cannabis during a sickness.
Because even if concentrates for me are cleaned up to the point where there's no type of residual contamination that I'm worried about, then how it affects, you know, how I actually feel after I dab. The only thing I can take away or, you know, surmise from that is how the terpenes affect your, you know, your esophagus and lung tissue and all that. And for me, I think there's ones that taste good and definitely smell good, but they're a lot harder to hold in your chest. And for whatever reason, I tend to, even in a breeding project, I would probably select away from that and breed more towards the ones that I like to hold in my chest, or that are easier, that I can smoke more and more of. You know, if I have 10 different grams of all different phenotypes in front of me, which one is it easier to smoke? Ones that I enjoy that are easier to smoke are probably going to be ones that I select for, rather than putting myself through, you know, cruel torture, you know, smoking something and coughing my brains out. Definitely think that can be bred into a plant. So.
I agree. Well, Mr. Red Pill, man, I think we're gonna call it, brother. It's 5:34. 5:34. We went long with good conversation.
You know, like you said about the coffee, some people need the coffee to spark them up in the morning. I'm the complete opposite. I wake up and I'm complete, you know, sparked out, and it only takes till I'm up a few hours, or I think I'm sharper towards the end of the day. Like this, you know, if we wanted to do this as a wake and bake, I don't think I could fucking hold a conversation, or, you know, try to think of as many things to say.
It's funny because I don't like to fucking talk to anybody when I get up, man. Yeah. There's definitely got to fucking be that warm up time. I think it's a minimum of a half hour.
Minimum. I tend to stretch it for an hour, but I'm a big wake and bake, of course. I mean, I'll keep an even pace medicating throughout the day, but I tend to really go at it chain dabbing right when I wake up. I just like to my spaced out portions of the things I get done in between when I want to medicate. The biggest gap of the first time I medicate to the next time is right in the morning, because I'm wake and baking to like 6 dabs, one after another. And then I can go do shit.
To me, ideally, that wake up is when I can fucking sneak one joint and a cup of coffee in before I have to fucking talk to anybody. Just like, yes. Stare out the back window, fucking birds and fucking shit that going on the tree line, and just, yeah. Then it's all good. Just like an old truck, man. You gotta let that fucker warm up, man, before you fucking take off.
I thought of it as when I played basketball, I would never leave the court or my driveway pissed off or in a bad mood because I was doing bad or I couldn't make a shot. I'd always stay there and always what I called leave on a good note, to where I'd just take a shot and it's just like splash, you know, nothing but net. And I get all happy and then I can go back inside. But I force myself to do that. So I think that's kind of what the wake and bake thing is like. I'm not going to start the day until I'm in the right mindset.
that's just tradition anymore. The wake and bake, it's got to be done. I actually was talking about that with a cat today that I'm working with. Actually on an old, actually work skill labor, I guess. I don't even know if I should say that because well, it's skill labor, but not to say that anything that cannabis related isn't skilled labor would be stupid. Is what I mean by that. You know what I mean in comparison.
It's the more you think about it, the more you can compare it. The amount of you work with your hands and your back, doing the same thing. Like, people that don't understand and still hate on weed think all you do is sit on the couch or something. But you do got to break your back, bending over, lifting up plants, watering, hanging lights.
Yeah.
Fans.
Yeah, fucking them 10 gallons are heavy. And, surprisingly to me, when I pulled out the fucking earth boxes out of the fucking tent, man, they were done and pulling the things out of there. That fucker was heavy. Still full of water, man. I was like, holy shit. I was not expecting that. But it's still, some exercise to gardening.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, the other one is that is strenuous on the body is the defoliation, especially in like a 4x4 tent where you can only access from the front and you're trying to get to the back and you're on that 45.
That hurts me
it's terrible.
Right below the kidneys. That's where that hurts me, doing that. Right in between the hips and kidney region.
Fucking I told the cat today, man, we were talking about cannabis. You know what I mean? And it's one where it's what it is. Where I'm kind of working day job, I guess. Again, and it's funny because I treat it as my second job. You know what I mean? It's not my first job anymore. It's the second job. Moonlighting almost is how I look at it. But we're talking about cannabis and how recreationally it's legal and it's not such a taboo thing anymore. And he's like, well, gotta watch it a little bit on the customer, around the customers. And I'm like, do I? Hell, I got a medical card, man. Fucking, I might just need to fucking smoke that shit just to get out of the truck to be able to fucking, you know what I mean? It's my medicine, you know what I mean? So, I should still be able to talk about it either way. You know what I mean? So
I would, like people call it a safety meeting, right? I would definitely want people in the right set of mind. No workplace accidents. Someone needs to do that to work better. I mean, there's people, like I said, they put themselves in like comedy. A lot of people are here, even if they're 420 friendly, they don't want to be smoking the shit out of their brains right before they get on stage, because it puts them in a different kind of headspace, too introspective and thinking about things in the moment when they could just be, fluid in the moment.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely choosing. You know what I mean? If I need to be on point and measurements count, I guarantee I'm not going to partake of that day. But if I'm going to get on the fucking roof and throw shingles all fucking day, you can bet your ass I'm fucking burning down every fucking break I get off that roof. To be honest with you, man, it's just too much wear and tear on the body. And it's funny is you talk about that is I worked for one cat that swore by that, and I found it as I worked later in life while kind of thought about his words in the back of my mind. A lot of times when it came to like constructions or skilled trades, most of the cats that did not use cannabis, not necessarily on the job but in general, were the ones that always got fucking hurt. And again, not to say that we were smoking on the job or anything, but just in general, He'd be like, man, I can't believe that cat ain't smoking as much as he fucking can't remember shit or falling over stuff. You would think out of everybody it was him.
And I think it's the same exact thing that's in effect there is the bad stigmatism about operating when you're driving if you're stoned. And it's been actually, when they do tests on this, it's been proven time and time again that people who smoke all the time, when they're stoned, they actually drive better than people who don't smoke and have never smoked when they're driving. Like I said, they get in more accidents for some whatever reason.
Again, I've worked with people with MS. You know what I'm saying? And man, you take that cannabis out of the picture, and god damn, you ain't getting that cat to draw a straight line. I'm not poking fun at anybody or nothing, but it's straight up, man. You ain't gonna get a straight line out of him. You ain't gonna get him to make a straight cut. You know what I'm saying? But you let him smoke before work, and it's fucking night and day. It's fucking night and day, man. They fucker can draw you a picture, cut the straightest line. But and you would, if you didn't know the medical situation, I think you would almost attribute it to another withdrawal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he wasn't a prior, medical, it's been diagnosed and, cannabis has been a medicine, you would look at it and think, man, that's a withdrawal from something else. You know what I mean? The shakiness, alcohol, or something like that. But in this case, it's completely beneficial. And I would want that cat too. You know what I mean? If he's cutting up my lumber pile and fucking cutting up my sheets of plywood, I would prefer the straight line versus fucking.
when he's sober, and if he was coming off if he was drinking, then he's being accused of something he's not even guilty of, versus going the whatever, not politically correct-ish kind of way yet, but just behind closed doors and you not even knowing, and it's perfectly fine, and you don't even ask the question. So
again, I would think I've been asked this question. I think Green 13 might even have said it at one time. We were talking about cannabis, and do you really want, you know what I mean? I think even Mr. Soul asked that to me the one time. Do you really want your pilot or your doctor using cannabis before? Well, maybe. You know what I mean? Fucking.
How would you know?
My doctor just. I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know.
I want to know how many planes have any of us flown on where the pilots are joking like, hey, we're high. No, literally, we're high. Like we're in a plane high. That kind of thing. Joking around because they get away with smoking before each flight. I mean,
it could happen. I'm sure it happens. And then again, it might be one of them things, man. 10 minutes before flight, that cat got a call about something, wife banging somebody or something else. Yeah, I might want him to smoke a fucking joint before he gets on that, shake that shit off, get a better mindset. Same thing with the doctor, man. If he's been uptight, man, drinking coffee, doctors are stressed and run on as little sleep as they get anyway. Yeah, doc, man, get in.
Those people are so low key that you wouldn't know if you were being operated on someone or by someone, and then everything went good and you were thankful, and then somehow, even if it was 10 years down the road, you figured out that guy, he was stoned when he performed on you. Then, I'm sure there's someone out there that's like, no, man, we had that lawsuit, paid out good, but fucking grandma got chopped up by a goddamn stoner practitioner, something like that. But
I honestly think it's happening, except they beat the system, and it's just pharmaceutical for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It isn't necessarily cannabis or whatever, but I think they know their way around.
Another one I thought of, it's not really a profession, and it's not in all cases. There's plenty of people that haven't ever touched cannabis in their life that are literally the world's greatest experts in jujitsu. But a lot of people excel. Seems that a lot of people that enjoy cannabis and enjoy cannabis simultaneously doing jujitsu kind of excel at it at a fast rate. And that's something you got to be really in tune with. Injuries happen all the time, every day. So, minor or
I would think that contributed a little bit too with the ability of holding your breath, like we were talking about it, a lung expansion and being used to holding that breath.
Michael Phelps, right? It's the biggest example. Unless that was all some media hype scam, wasn't really hitting a bong, wasn't really him. But no, and stuff that me and you and people in the chat know. It takes time for people that aren't as enthusiastic or don't care about it as much as we do to learn it or figure it out.
Well, this red pill, I'm gonna fucking
hop
off.
I'm enjoying the conversation, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to.
I am too. I am too. That's why we went to OT, man. I didn't even try to rush it, man. It's been a good one-on-one. Maybe I was just craving it because the no spotlight.
Well, I guess I was missed, and I was both. I felt missed, and I felt that I missed out not being here. I did try to fix my sleep schedule. It was maybe a little premature. I really didn't have that much activity to do. I kind of wanted to get in that routine. But I'm gonna be. You got a 420 stream coming up, so I'm definitely gonna make that one.
And then I gotta put you. I'm definitely putting you on the list then, because I'm already taking the list and trying to line things up of like compatible folks, and I try to be a little keep that shit in mind. Who might jive well with other guests, and they're starting to add up already.
Little matchmaker.
Nice. Yeah, I try to be.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably pop in a few more.
Only if you fucking, and I'm not gonna say any names, but there's no way of ever. I can't even know. I know I was there, but there's no way anybody could go back and watch. But there is one episode during that first 420 where I thought I gotta really work on scheduling, because there was like one instance where there was like both popped on at once, and they were like, "You," and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! I didn't even know. Damn!" But luckily they played nice and for the right reasons, and wasn't horrible. But when I shit you not, that's the first like 2 seconds. It was like that. It was like you. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
I've been on both sides of that fence before.
It's hard to walk the middle road of that shit, man. Yeah. It's like, oh man, okay, you guys just, all right, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. You guys work it out. It worked out. It was a good day though. All in all, it was an amazing day, to be honest with you. I learned a lesson this much though. I am gonna tap out at some point this 420 and get a few hours sleep. There's no way I'm gonna try to do it all 24 again. Woo. That was nuts.
Yeah, I've forced myself to do that a few times. Google Hangout days. I'd say it was worth it. It's a good time. I kind of thought of it as like, let's see how bad I feel after doing this and gauge how old I'm getting by that measure.
It's it was a mind fuck the next day, to be honest with you, because it was like it was like one long day with like a couple of hours sleep, shortened, then a full 24 hours no sleep, and then I crashed out for a normal 8, and then I got up and man, it was weird, man. I fucking had facial hair didn't line up for what your mind would think one sleep would have, you know what I mean, and shit like that.
Definitely don't know what day
And
it is.
yep, yeah. And man, I remember towards the end of that shit, I was actually eating like hot sauce, habanero hot sauce. It was everything I could do to fucking stay awake. I know I looked amazingly rough after fucking smoking. I think I smoked like an ounce of hash or an ounce and a half of flour and fucking a good probably half ounce of hash that day.
Yeah.
It was like this roller. I was rolling one of these an hour full of flour and hash. And so what, 24 of those, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was a day.
I'll figure
It
out
was a
something
day.
fun. I've been thinking about that. I want to maybe get a new device. I don't want to give it away. Maybe it'll be a surprise if I can get my hands on one. But maybe fun device for 420, just to liven it up a little bit. Not the same old, I got my rigs and I got my flower pipes, but a piece that I don't have that I want to try to find. So.
Looking forward to it. It's right around the fucking it's right around the corner, man. I can't believe how fast this fucking year has gone, man. Already. We're almost quarter year through fucking 21, man.
I'm almost grateful for that because it's moving in a pace where it's kind of like the busier you are, the more fun you're having, faster time goes. And supposedly we got teased with this. It's not the first time they said this, but they plan to have legal cannabis in Wisconsin by 2023. If that's the case, then if time's moving fast and that's whatever, a year and a half, 2 years away, then that doesn't seem that far away to me. People are like 2023, that's crazy, I'm like, man, that's going to happen before you know it. So
Yeah, I almost think I'm just gonna shut the fuck up because I know I'm about ready to open up probably another hour wormhole there. Once I start, it's just one of those. I'll save it for another. I'll let you in on a little bit of it though. It's just how time is flying. You know what I mean? How our state of how we perceive time right now is.
yeah, it's perspective though. We're not all feeling that way, I'm sure. Oh. Oh no. Froze up.